Where's the worst place to take an Eid photo?
Ooh, in front of a house.
Bathroom.
A brick wall.
Man, I was very excited to do this podcast. That answer just went so many different directions. No, let's not get into that. Well, let's get into it.
I don't know what it is about people, but for some reason, people in general, not just Eid photos, but they love brick walls like they're an aesthetic or something.
You don't like a brick wall?
Yeah.
No, it's just like...
It's too basic?
Well, what is it?
I think it's a clean background.
It's lazy.
I don't know. I think that's like people who actually realize enough to know that the background actually matters and use a brick wall, respect.
Yeah.
But I'm, what's it called? A hypocrite.
Why?
Because I took a picture in front of my house this year.
Wait, why a house? Is it just because that's basic too?
No, what I meant to say was, like the side panelings of a house?
Yeah.
Like the white
siding.
panels? Yeah, the siding, sure. I don't know what it is about that that's just so ugly in a picture.
Do you prefer a brick house?
I prefer the front brick part of the house rather than like the side
Do
paneling.
you agree for us? I mean, the side panel is not that attractive.
Well, no, but it's the same thing as the brick wall situation because it's just some sort of a pattern to put in the back rather than just standing in the middle of wherever. The real key is the lighting.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Where's
true.
the sun coming from?
You need the sun.
People love to go against the sun for some reason. They're like, I'm going to put you in front of the sun and I'm going to take a picture from here. I'm like, yo, turn around. Like, go on the other side.
Sometimes the backlighting, if you can pull it off, it looks really dope.
If you frame it so that the person is in front of the sun, so it's a silhouette situation. But that's the only, like, I feel like, way that it's
Why'd you say bathroom?
Dude, the people that take like mirror selfies in the bathroom, like
those are
robotic.
No, but those are the best when it comes to your control of how you look, how you're gonna look physically.
And that's why I don't like it. Because Eid is supposed to be like family, like showing like outside, like nature, like love. You've been locked.
Where is this written down?
You're saying like a bathroom mirror selfie.
A holiday. You don't believe a holiday's like that?
No, but there's no rules for like it has to show nature and all that stuff.
No, but that is the vibe.
But that's the vibe of like the culture, right? Like you go outside with family.
I think he's saying like
pictures
pictures that you don't normally take with family, of nature, whatnot.
Because you could take a picture in the bathroom
You
any
can pull
day.
up with like a kurta and like in the bathroom and have any other caption.
Is it specifically if there's a toilet in the background? Or
I never see that. If I see that, that's an instantly trash picture.
Yeah, like you're
the
saying,
stalls or like a home bathroom.
That's nasty too.
There's some people that started doing. Well, maybe this has been a thing, but you know how people send Christmas cards with their family photo on it?
It's not in the bathroom, right?
No,
Okay.
but I'm just saying like what you're going for, the whole like family thing, but it's like, you know, take it and then you send it and it says Eid Mubarak at the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, like they're all dressed up.
I like that.
They take it in advance.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, like that's the vibe you should give off. Even if it's by yourself, like you're still outside and you can, I don't know about you guys, but when I look at a picture and it's just them, you can kind of feel like, oh, family's around all taking pictures. And like that's what everyone does after like namaz and
But usually,
prayer,
exactly.
all that stuff.
Usually
I think
I
that's
get
what it is that usually, I mean, pre-COVID, we were all like going to the mosque for Eid namaz and then taking pictures outside the mosque. And that was, I feel like, where the vibe was created.
Yeah.
I like a good family photo. I think nowadays it's a lot about flexing your fit.
Yeah. I mean,
which is cool. I like that too, though.
A lot of dudes, which I think is dope, is they pick a random car in the lot and then they take a picture.
That was me yesterday.
They
Except it was at my house.
You had a Lambo. What the heck?
Yeah, one of our family friends has like a Lambo and a few other like nice cars. And I was like, hey, your car matches me. He's like, yeah, let's go take pictures. I was like, all right.
I was about to ask, did you drive that?
No.
Damn.
I asked him to drive it in the middle of the cul-de-sac and then I pretended to sit in it. I mean, I sat in it, but I pretended to drive it.
Why didn't you ask to drive it?
Because I do not trust myself.
Oh. It's like people are looking for certain elements to make a picture what it is. So it's like, all right, got the fit. Now I need the right friend. Now I need the right element which completes it, which is like a car or like.
What the heck? Are you making a picture? It's like build a picture.
That's what's going on in their head.
That's what they do.
Like subconsciously.
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah, I know. So why does everybody have such similar photos? Because it just in their head that equation equals Eid picture.
Yep.
I just had a nice fit on, looked cute, and I was like, the front of the house is an easy location. That's where we're going.
Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to an episode of Strange Flavors. My name is Shamir.
I'm Faraz, not in front of a brick wall.
My name is Amber, in front of a house.
I'm Hassan and I'm behind the camera.
Stress game.
Let's go. And this is the strangest and greatest podcast in the game. This is brought to you by Alif Theory. You can email us or send us your music at strangeflavorspodcast@gmail.com. You can watch our beautiful faces on YouTube and you can comment, like, and subscribe. And speaking of comments, we have these amazing comments that you guys always comment on every episode that we would like to share every episode. And we're just getting it ready. So that's why I'm still talking and Amber is still checking it out. But we really enjoy your comments. You guys have left some awesome comments the past couple of episodes and we want to encourage that. So I think Amber has it ready and she will read it in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Okay. So my favorite comment was actually by the coolest person who commented on the video. It said, "I love when the boys feel bad enough for me to for me that they let me use a blanket during the podcast." But
You said me.
yeah, it was me.
You're reading your own comment?
Yeah, I just really like how you guys let me do that in the past. But
I think, we should move the blanket to Frost's feet.
that's
Yep.
a really good. I like that one.
Yeah, because he always shows it every episode, and thank God.
This is Strange Flavors. This isn't Only Feet.
Only feet.
Yeah.
You guys love talking about my feet. I never even bring it up.
Bro,
you guys
what?
love talking about my
Ross,
feet.
you
bring it
are
up.
so
No,
annoying.
actually, no. He's got a point. He
I
brings up
literally
his.
don't.
He brings up his socks. You don't bring up his feet.
Even last time I didn't bring up my socks.
No,
the
Frost.
comments brought
Okay,
up my
Shamir, does Frost not always try to flex the fact that his feet are nice for some reason? We're like, yo, your feet are so average.
Yeah, like they're really average right now too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. For like dude feet, they're good, but like they're average overall.
They're just feet.
Yeah, they're
They're
just
just
feet.
feet.
For monkey feet, they're real nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but you're not
sure.
a monkey.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, he said for dude feet. So I was just throwing monkeys in there too.
yeah.
Okay. Well, here's another question. I mean, not a question, another comment. And they said, Isan is my favorite cast member.
Shout the people out who did the
Who
comment.
said that?
What?
Well, she did for the first one. It was Amber.
Yeah.
So she shouted.
No,
out
who
Amber.
said the second comment?
Yeah, who said the second comment?
What? Oh, Haris. No, I didn't. No, he didn't. It was Avido. I'm sorry. Haris had a comment, which is cool. Honestly, I think it's really fun now. Like, I like going in the comment section, seeing what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah.
You've made it. You're now someone's favorite cast member. You've
Congrats.
infiltrated the podcast.
Soon it's going to be my podcast.
Probably.
Bye.
It's going to be called
Already.
The Beneficent Cast, starring
What?
Hassan Singleton.
What's a beneficent?
Why does he already have the name like ready and everything?
I heard people are really attracted by your voice.
Yeah.
Speaking of voice, I had beef with Shamil last week. I have beef with Greasy Bastard. That's his name on here. That's his
What the
name, I
heck?
swear. That's
You
his
call
name.
Amber, come
No,
on.
no, that's his name.
You can't roast her.
And he said,
commenters
why
like
does
that."
Amber sound like she's about to cry? And I literally just responded to be like, I had my throat slit a week ago, sir.
Well, to be fair, Amber's a very emotional person.
Oof.
When is she not crying?
Whoa.
Dang.
That was
So-
personal.
So this is
Are
something
you
that's
admitting to like always making her cry and like picking on her?
It's not, in what part did I say that I caused any of it? Out of nowhere.
Why
Are
am I
you
only
admitting-
emotional
have
around
to.
you?
Pinning it on you.
I'm not emotional. I'm not emotional. If I act like a male, you guys will see less, feelings as emotions rather than just me being a human.
Yeah, woman it up. Women power. Feminism.
Nice.
Okay,
yeah.
we're going to get Me Too'd now.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Like why does he do this? Dude, leave the podcast.
This is your
You're
favorite
fired.
member? This is your
Yeah.
favorite member right
What
here?
is he doing? He's just throwing random
guy?
accusations.
This guy is your favorite member?
Don't look so proud, sir.
Oh. Well, if you'd like to support this podcast, unlike Isan, you can be part of Strange Flavors Town. Strange Flavors Town includes Bobber's Bagels, Cassie's Cupcakes, Airhouse Ices, Freehouse Falafels, Uslam's Apples, and we didn't write Shamil's Shawarmas, but I remember that at the top of my head because I'm a beast. And are we keeping that name? Shamil's Shawarmas.
We're
Because-
keeping it. I was thinking we'd need a shisha shop in
Yeah.
Strange Flavors Town, but unfortunately our friend Shamil is underage.
Yeah.
Is
So-
he? So,
Which is dope because I don't know how young he is, but like he's supporting this podcast.
yeah. I mean, I was going to hookah bars at 15.
But were you supporting podcasts at 15?
I mean, I was because I was listening to the shit out
He's
of them.
literally using his allowance
Yeah, his allowance
Aw.
to
to
support us.
steal his parents' credit card.
What a
so
sweet dude.
Wait, is it coming in USD or is it coming in like Roblox? Bucks?
Roblox or V-Bucks.
Dead.
We gotta double check that.
Yeah, Shamil, We got to watch out for you, dude.
Dude, shout out to Shamil's Shawarmas.
Yeah. Thank you for supporting and everything. And if you'd like to also support in another way, you can buy our wonderful, amazing merch at strangeflavors.store.
Ooh.
Thanks everybody for supporting us.
Yeah, you guys are amazing.
So how was your guys' Eid?
Fun. Exciting.
Isn't it weird to eat again?
Yeah, I'm still
even
getting
though
used
this
to
happens every year, it's still so weird because you're just like, because on Eid morning you're just like, do I need anything?
Yeah, do I have to eat?
Yeah, but also do you like, for me, I feel like sometimes like you don't even like need to eat on Eid morning. You're like, I'll be fine. I've been fine all month, so why do I need to eat now?
I never
could
do.
Keep pushing it.
I
guys
always
don't?
eat like candy.
I eat like cereal. Just like light cereal.
People really like coffee because
Oh yeah.
I see that everywhere. They're like, oh my God, we can have coffee again. I'm so glad I'm not like
Coffee drinker.
a coffee drinker like that. Like I drink coffee for fun, casually, but like some people, they really, really need it and have this caffeine withdrawal. Like,
I don't think
without it.
anybody needs it. I think it's kind of a fun hobby. It's almost like a hobby.
No.
Literally.
Some people, they
But like after a month,
change
after
without
a month,
I'm
like
not
you
having
kind of
it.
get rid of it. that
There's no
withdrawal.
caffeine withdrawals after a month.
Unless they sneak some in a couple of days in the, month.
I mean, yeah, sure.
So.
If you're having the Matsari or iftar
yeah.
in the middle of the day.
Yeah. But I got rid of my addiction.
Yeah, same.
So like just chai here and there probably some days of the month, but no need of caffeine.
I'm just giving myself like 1 cup in the morning before noon. And if it's after 12 o'clock, I'm not having it.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's it's exciting to have the ability to drink coffee. Like, yo, I have the option. If it's there, I look at my Keurig and I'm like, yo, I know you. I look at my espresso machine and I'm like, yo, I could use you if I wanted to.
Okay, you could talk about your Keurig, but your girl got an espresso in Ramadan. So
Why do you have like multiple coffee machines?
They all serve different functions.
I don't understand. Whenever I see that, for one birthday for you, Shamir, I was looking up coffee machines for probably a week.
Yeah, you told me.
And I was
That
just
would've been
like,
so sweet if
screw
you got
this.
me one.
I just got you a Starbucks gift card because I was so
Which
just
is
stressed.
also an equally amazing gift.
Yeah, because you like
Well,
Starbucks.
the coffee
Dunkin' now.
machine would have been worth way more.
Which one?
The coffee
yeah.
machine that
What
I
were
got.
you
Like
looking at?
if you got it wrong, that would
I
kinda
was
suck.
looking at, so there was the French press and the Nespresso.
Wait, oh my God. You
and-
know that during his birthday, I was also looking at French presses.
And then I
Dude.
saw this one that was like a portable one.
Dude.
And like if you go on trips, no, it was made by Nespresso's the company, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was made by them. And then it comes in like a little capsule almost. And then all you have to do is put hot water in it, and then it like makes it. And then I was looking at the reviews, and then people were like, it can be a lot of
You have to do a lot
cleaning
of research into
and all that.
getting
And
Yeah.
then I literally spent that week, like every night, I'm like, all right, which one? And I'm like,
Why
tonight
did you
I'm
not
definitely
ask
gonna
for
get
help?
Tim.
You know you're not a coffee person.
I appreciate the effort, dude.
Yeah.
That
No,
means a
but
lot.
when it comes to gifts, I don't want to inconvenience anybody. Sometimes you get a gift that, like, for example, I'm sorry, but like my family, I love them. They get me gifts that, like, for example, I need headphones, right?
Yeah.
And I don't get anything until I need it. But when I need that thing, I need just that specific model. You
Okay.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a while ago. I wanted the Beats Studio, but it was like a specific version. And they got me the DJ version. And they were a lot bigger and stuff. And they were like really expensive. But I was like, I don't want to waste the gift because I'm not going to use this.
Mm.
And usually what happens, they also got me, what's that thing that like it rotates when you...
Gimbal?
No, it was a pocket, DJI Pocket.
Oh, like a
Osmo.
pocket video gimbal.
I think it's
thing.
called like a Osmo Pocket or something,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And I was getting something else at the moment. Same thing happened with the drone, but like they were like, they hate me now because they're
Oh
like,
my
well, every time we're getting you something that is like in the market, it's like popular, whatever, and you end up returning it and getting something else. And
How's my camera gift to you? Or we got it all together for you, but
the Polaroid,
yeah.
I mean, it's useful. We use it for the podcast. I've used it plenty of times. It was one of those things that's like, I don't have a use for it at the moment, but when I do, I'll use it then. Because there's some people that...
Would you prefer if people were like, hey, I want to buy you a pair of headphones?
I
Which
hate
one?
gifts, period.
Right. So then you can't even
So
blame them
don't
because they're
get
just
me-
going straight up and buying you one. At least you should be more like workable with if they want to be like, hey, I want to buy you it.
I appreciate it so much. First of all, it makes me uncomfortable. I hate birthdays. I hate gifts. Like it just makes, I don't know how I'm supposed to explain it. It just does. I'm not trying to be annoying. I'm not trying to be show offy. Like some people, you know, they're oh, you didn't have to, but I'm literally like, please do not.
You don't have to.
I feel like you make your birthday a bigger inconvenience because of how much you hate it.
Birthdays are so overrated.
Yeah, but I feel like you make them a bigger deal than they are by acting the way that you do.
It could be so much more chill.
It could be so much more like relaxed if he was just cool about it.
And
but
he's
like
no.
Like him hating surprises so much to the point where like he's like trying to figure out what it is. It's like it's a bigger inconvenience when he does that. It gives me anxiety.
I don't want to be thinking about like where are you taking me? What are we about to do?
Like I don't need
relax. Yeah, just relax.
I don't
let them.
Your hate for your birthday causes you don't want to inconvenience others, but sometimes you cause a bigger inconvenience trying not to inconvenience others.
And how would we avoid all of this if we just like treated it like another day and we were just like, if it was just like, hey man, happy birthday.
But
like, oh, thanks.
We can't.
Cool. That's it.
Yeah, we have to.
This is your problem. This is not my problem.
No, it's definitely a you problem.
Okay, anyways, back to the gift thing.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that I didn't want to inconvenience it, so then I was just like, screw it. And then for like a little while, I was just like, screw Shamir, like pissed off because his gift is too hard to get. So I'm just
you're
mad at the market, not.
I'm mad at the choices.
Yeah, there's a lot of choices.
Yeah,
I got a simple solution.
See why I have so many machines? Then
no, that's what I don't get. Like, why do we have to just coffee? Coffee is coffee.
No,
whatever.
But Isan want to say something?
Oh, I was. You kind of took it a different direction. I was just gonna say gift cards.
That's what I was gonna say.
Let that burden fall on the person giving the gift to.
Gift cards are a super underrated gift.
They are okay. Even gift cards sometimes. If you get for example, if you get like a GameStop gift card for $20 and then you only use a little bit of it and you don't want to go to GameStop, all of these things, they get very annoying.
Oh, like if someone gets me like a Kohl's gift card, and I mean, there's like a lot of stuff.
That's so random.
Yeah, it's random, but like obviously there's stuff at Kohl's, but I would never go to Kohl's. So now I have to go to Kohl's.
Oh, so you like it? Oh wait, you don't like it?
No, I don't like. I appreciate it.
I think it makes sense. Like
Amazon is one of the best.
Starbucks. If you're a girl, Ulta.
Dunkin', Ulta.
See, the issue is it feels like a lazy gift.
It does.
Because it's not considerate one.
No, but it's also super considerate because you're like, hey, like I don't want to inconvenience you by getting something super specific.
Yeah.
See, that's why you have to be like me. And like, I just got frost stickers. I was like, this can't make him upset. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that was cool. Because it's not like overly doing it. It's chill. It was like something that I was into. You got me off the office.
I felt like it was a cop out though. Like, but I knew that it was
No, it's not a cop out. Because to me, it's not a cop out. It's just like, if you got me a letter that said something that
was sweet.
No, not even sweet. Just like, it made sense. That would have been equally as great of a gift. Like,
not a letter that's sweet. Make sure you give him a letter that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, because if you wrote to me about like, oh, for us, like Naruto something, like, and I'm like, I don't watch Naruto.
Why would anyone do that? Bro?
That's what I'm saying, though.
No one would ever do that. Like, if someone's writing you a card, they'd be like, it'd be personal, right? Have you ever gotten that?
Yeah, like I mean, sometimes you get a gift that's just like, hey,
does it
like,
make sense?
Okay, like I'm not into cars, right? So if you got me like something a car poster, I'd be like, oh, cool.
Obviously, but has that happened to you?
Yeah, you've never gotten a gift that's just like, why did you get me this? Like, this doesn't make sense. You've never gotten that?
I can't think of one at the top of my head. Maybe when I was younger, but I feel like now.
Yeah, but I don't want to shout out the gifts that I thought were random.
How did we get on this?
Because my coffee addiction.
Wait, real quick. Just to table all this, I think the biggest thing in any gift really is the meaning behind it, you know?
Yeah.
Like the sympathy, the intention, because at the end of the day, whether it's, $2 stickers, whether it's, a new car, like an actual car.
No, you're absolutely right. These are first world problems and screw us.
I got my friend a Lambo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, you got him a miniature Lambo.
Lambo's a Lambo, dude.
Yeah.
For the clickbait.
For the clickbait.
Yeah, but really quickly, I have a coffee machine.
Yeah.
That's just coffee. I have an espresso machine, which is just espresso shots, and you can also froth the milk. And then I bought a Nespresso because of the layers. I bought it only for the layers.
So it tastes different?
Yeah, it's just like a higher quality.
Or is the texture different?
Everything.
It's
texture's different,
taste is different.
The caffeine intake is probably different.
Like if you just want something like quick, cheap, and lazy, coffee, right?
Yeah.
If you want to take the time
coffee,
to enjoy,
honestly.
if you want to take the time to enjoy, like an espresso and like put it together, That's beautiful. The Nespresso is just like a quick and easy espresso.
You should brew some for us.
What is the French? When do you not want like food and some sort of drink? What does a French press do?
It's basically it's just the same idea as coffee, but like it allows it to be more potent because the actual
so it's
beans
stronger.
are soaking. Yeah, the beans are soaking in the water, and then you're pushing the beans.
This
down.
is like
grounds.
This is like expert level coffee drinker. Like they're like, oh, I want it mine French pressed.
Those are okay. I wouldn't even say expert level. I would say like the bougie, like snobby
Hipsters.
head, like the ones that like they're like, oh, I don't need to do that. Like I can do it like with a French press.
Yeah,
Because like you could do it with an espresso machine, and that's still like fancy.
You know what this is like? Fries,
Like how you like your fries?
waffle fries. I can't think
Where
of
were
any
you
other
going?
fries at the moment. Curly fries.
Curly fries, waffle
Crinkle
fries,
fries.
potato wedges,
Crinkle cut?
crinkle fries.
Crinkle cut.
They're all potatoes.
You know what's the worst
Yeah,
fry?
but the texture,
The regular one that's not crinkle. Like the thick
like this
one.
is straight one,
You don't
Yeah.
like those?
or like a potato wedge,
No,
like
potato
the Royal
wedges are
Farms
okay.
ones.
No, those are fine. Potato wedges are
like
fine.
McDonald's.
No, McDonald's is great because they're thin.
Oh, you don't
But,
like
like,
the thicker ones.
The thicker ones that are just, I'm like, what are you doing for me here? Like, have a purpose.
But they're like fries. Okay, how's your diet after Ramadan? Are we back to normal?
Mm?
I think we're getting there. Like I still have to adjust to eating more during the day.
Mm.
Did you lose a lot of weight?
Yeah.
No, I actually well, I'm smart with my diet, so I actually gain weight, but
Oh,
Oh,
were you
yeah.
eating
Everybody,
more
he's
calories
smart,
then?
guys.
more proteins.
Ah, that's cool.
So
What about you?
I'm more efficient with my food.
Nice.
I'm not consistent in anything, including weight. So I just let it be. Freedom, mental
cute.
freedom.
I like had the weird thing with the surgery in the middle, so I like lost
yeah.
a few pounds, and I'm just like feeling on top of the
You said
world.
you feel good when you lose weight.
Yeah, it's really okay. Low key, it's like body dysmorphia, but like we don't have to get into that. But like the 5 pounds that I lose, a lot of girls can relate to this. Is that like they make the difference of what you're like? Oh man, I just want to lose a little bit of weight. Those 5 pounds are off for me right now, and like I feel unfuckwithable. I'm so sorry I have to make this explicit, but yeah, it is. But speaking of
But
diets.
like, don't you like lose your muscles or like definition a little bit?
So when you lose weight, right? And then
Yeah.
you go back to the gym and you start to gain weight again, obviously now that I'm eating solids, I'm going to gain the weight back.
Yeah.
And when you do that while you're like building the muscle,
Then
you're
you see your
getting it more
definition.
toned, because when you're in a like consistent caloric deficit while you're working out, you're not actually really gaining the muscle. You're just burning fat. So you're never really gaining too much definition because you're constantly trying to lose the weight, and you can't gain muscle in a caloric deficit.
Nice.
Sucks, but
So a lot of people, would like that are really into working out and stuff. My brother was doing this too. Sometimes he would go before opening the fast because of that reason, so that you're just like shredding the fat basically. And it's harder to go after you eat. Maybe you're like more.
I think it's just like optimal to go right before you open your fast, because you're basically burning your reserved fat versus if you just eat the meal. And you already know we have KO meals just generally.
Yeah.
Like after
Bruh,
you eat, you're ready
last
to knock
week
out.
we played basketball. We used to do this all the time as kids, but for some reason last week we played basketball for like 2 hours before we opened the last fast, and I felt like somebody punched me in the throat. My throat was like so dry, and then I was so tired. It's also because I haven't had any physical activity since Ramadan started, so that's probably why too. But
That might make you like super lethargic though, if you're not eating anything and you're not working out. Like you're not.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks.
No, but you know, in general, I've been thinking about this recently. Like diets in general just piss me off.
Why? Because you have to maintain them.
No,
if
I
you
just
do.
think they send the wrong message.
Like what? People think diet and they just think you're losing weight.
Okay, I'll say it this way. Specifically, fad diets piss me off. Like the ketos, the Whole30s. And you guys have seen me go through my fair share of like the Whole30 in the beginning.
Yeah, she's done like every type of diet you can name.
Except for keto, but yeah, yeah. The only reason why is because I'm like, fad diets are dumb, but nutrition is not dumb. Like if you're worried about your nutrition,
routine, consistency.
exactly. Like lifestyle changes are cool, but not short-term lifestyle changes, because then what are you trying to accomplish? I just don't understand, especially because I'm like, they want you to eat this like mayonnaise ass chicken, right? Like just unseasoned
What is
chicken.
that? Oh, just
Like only when you're having a clean diet, you just have
unseasoned,
only chicken.
Yeah.
like boiled chicken.
Yeah, like so for example, let's put keto on the map because keto I feel like is
What
the
is
thing
keto?
that
I don't even know what keto
so
is.
keto is something that like everybody like raves about that they lose weight on, right?
I feel like keto is the diet that people go on just to say they went on keto.
Keto is a martial art.
Up
Is it-
keto.
Keto.
Up keto.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a black belt in keto. Doesn't that sound like it's a martial art?
Yeah.
No.
I think it is hop keto.
Oh,
Don't they
really?
say it? Yeah.
Up keto, yeah.
so keto
be.
diets are high in fats and low in carbs.
High in fats.
High in fats and proteins and low in carbs.
Okay.
So they tell you can't eat like fruits, like you can't eat bananas, but you can eat like so much cheese, like so much cheese. Like you can eat,
What does it do?
basically what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to put your body into ketosis, right? And so you're not having enough carbs, so your body starts burning the fats and the proteins in order to lose the weight. The problem is a lot of people have hidden health problems that they don't know about. So if you go into high fat like diet, you can be like literally causing yourself extreme body damage. Like if you're pre-diabetic and you do keto and you don't even know that you're
Oh.
pre-diabetic and you're doing high fats and low carbs, you're burning out your energy and not having any carbs, but like going crazy with your fats. It just makes no sense. And we put so much like emphasis on, oh yeah, like learn the diet. But like, why don't we put the emphasis on like learn the lifestyle?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely.
It makes me upset.
I heard this one time Joe Rogan went on like a carnivorous diet,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he said he had
carnivore.
like explosive diarrhea.
but he said he had the most energy he's ever had in his life.
It's just straight meat. Like for a snack, you'll have like beef jerky.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's kind of gross. I did it before.
Really?
I did 80%. 80% carnivore diet, 20%
Would you eat just
vegetables.
chicken, beef?
My trainer put me on it. He just did it as like a test with all of the students. We all went on it. It was 80% proteins, 20% fat.
Did you get explosive diarrhea?
I didn't know. I have a pretty strong stomach, but
Did you
a
spray
lot of
paint?
people did. What, spray paint? Oh,
Did you
gross.
spray paint out of your butt?
No, I did not. But people did mention that was happening. But he would be like, for breakfast, lunch.
Amber, it's okay. Come on, it's the boys.
I
on.
did not spray paint.
Don't you get like sad when you don't have carbs?
So that's the thing now is like, especially before too, like I would like avoid carbs to like an unhealthy
Yeah,
level.
carbs like bread, pasta, rice.
Yo, before Ramadan, I wasn't like doing this purposely, but I wasn't eating like carbs, and I felt really good.
Yeah. But like, you weren't going
no
out of
bread,
your way
no
to
roti,
avoid
nothing.
the carbs. Were you? No rice either?
I was
You're
just like,
just
let me
reducing?
just do this.
Were you just like reducing the carbs or just like?
Well, my sister came over for a weekend, and my mom was going crazy with the food, and I was just
When
like,
your mom cooks.
Yeah. She
I was just like, whoa, I feel fat. Whoa.
Yeah.
My butt though,
she told me you actually worked out that week too.
my butt was nice, yo. It was jiggly. Like all the fat just went to my butt. I was like, I'm cool with this. I like this. When I step, it goes boom, boom, boom. I feel like moto.
Only boys can imagine me saying something like this.
Yeah. We'd be like, ew.
Yeah.
Well, I've never like experienced that.
What do you mean?
Like, I was-
Everybody always
I
talks
feel
about
like-
your butt.
About my butt?
Yeah, the boys are always talking about your butt.
But not like, oh, it's like it's peachy.
Yes, they literally send it in our Snapchat
No,
group.
that's a pose I do.
The pose.
That's like-
speaking it out.
Wait, so you guys aren't talking about it in general?
Because when I lean over to like, I have this counter in my kitchen, and like for some reason I'm usually leaned over in a certain position that my brother comes up. He's like, "Hey, step bro, what are you doing?" It's the step bro pose,
Yeah.
like caught.
But it seems like you're doing it on purpose.
I'm not
Like,
doing
you're
it on
sticking
It's
to
purpose.
the
also
butt.
because it's like the hair in the back, and
Yeah.
then it's like the skinnier frame, and then you're
Oh, I look like a
poking your
little
butt
baddie
out.
from the back.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's probably what's happening.
like
And
the
your
yoga
brother's-
pants prank.
Yeah.
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
But you do it
yeah.
in your house like all the
I
time.
was doing it in my house, but yeah, I was. I felt super thick, and I was just like, "Yo, snap! I gotta like run and stuff." And I was like, "Well, what's like?" I always hear that you have to fix your diet with it too. So I was like, "Okay, let me just like not eat like roti. Let me not eat bread.
Mhm.
It's not hard because every meal you can just not have it."
Yeah,
And I didn't, and then I felt really, really good.
yeah. If I eat like a lot of carbs now, it weighs me down and it ruins my next day.
But
Like,
don't get it twisted.
In energy.
I still ate what I wanted to
Sure.
because
What?
Yeah, like you said, the complete opposite.
No, like if there's a donut or something like that.
That's literally a carb and sugar.
I
It's
know.
a sugar dump.
No, but I wasn't eating like
a fried piece of carb.
because usually I'm eating like bread in the morning and then like roti for dinner. And
Wait, so you didn't cut it out?
Yes, I did.
Wait, what?
I cut it out.
You cut out a lot less.
No, I didn't eat the bread in the morning and I didn't eat the roti for dinner. But usually I have like dessert and
So
stuff.
here's the thing though, like I think it's about balance, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
that's
don't
what I'm
take
saying.
balance.
Everything in moderation.
It's not even moderation. It's literally about like, I think it has to do with your relationship with yourself primarily and your relationship with your food secondarily. Like if you don't know what your relationship with yourself is, you're just kind of like doing whatever. Like like when people say like, I want to lose weight, right? What does that mean to you?
It means I want to get snatched this summer.
There we go. Okay,
I want to
that's
look
a goal.
like this on the gram.
Okay.
But it's for other people.
But that's a goal, right? So no, it's not always for other people.
For
but
yourself too.
But say, for example, you're like, I want to look snatched, right? I honestly would prefer somebody say, I want to look snatched rather than I want to lose weight. Because I'm like, what is a scale doing for you? Where, like, and then whenever somebody says that to me, I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what are you trying to say? And they'll be like, oh, like, I want to lose weight. Like, you know, my stomach's a little this and da, 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 da. And I'm like, so the scale doesn't matter to you. They're like, no. And I was like, if your number on the scale was the same exact, but you looked like aesthetically how you wanted to, you don't care about losing the weight. They're like, no. And I'm like, so what is the obsession with losing the weight then? Like
It's
you
just
need
losing
to,
fat. That's basically what they're trying to say.
losing the fat, but also like I think it's overall a relationship with your body, like a mind-body relationship. If you're connecting with your body and being like, okay, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to achieve, what does it take to do that? Rather than being like, well, I want to lose weight, so let me just go and do this like fad diet, which is keto, and just eat a lot of cheese and eat a lot of high fats and remove all carbs from my diet. And I wonder why I have no energy and why I have high cholesterol.
I used to want to look like a bodybuilder, basically. When you're a kid, you want to like, you like the
wanna look
muscles
like
and all of
that.
that. But the older I get, the more I realize how much cooler it is to feel mobile, to feel light and flexible. And
Limber.
like, Limber. Yeah. Like when you watch movies, for example, that like people are doing really cool.
Flips.
Yeah, flips and all types of cool punches and kicks and whatever.
Yeah.
Like Bruce Lee, for
Bruce
example,
Lee.
right? Like his whole thing is, and Israel Adesanya, who's a UFC fighter, he actually follows this whole mentality of like Bruce Lee and a lot of like true martial artists and anime characters and all of that, who says like, yeah, it's cooler to be trained and flexible and be able to move your body in special ways rather than be all bulky and like have the aesthetic look, but then not be able to
It like not be super practical, just like lift weights up and down and just do those motions.
because his whole thing, Adesanya's thing is like, I don't care that I'm skinny, like fight me, because obviously he's a UFC fighter, and yeah, he beats people like if anybody saw the Paulo Costa fight, Paulo Costa is a guy who's just like he looks like a cloud, and he knocked him out, and it was just like so cool to see that, like some skinny kid. But he has all the right training and you don't have to be super muscular in your physique to be able to do the craft or just feel good about yourself.
I think that's like a questionnaire that I feel like everybody should have with themselves when they start to work out or when they start a journey or even continue, is like even checking in with yourself. I constantly check in with myself, like, what is it that I'm trying to achieve? And it's changed over time. When I first started, I was like, I want to lose weight. Obviously, I knew what that meant later on.
Well, we don't know. We don't know at the beginning, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying is like, you have to like consistently ask yourself. Like when I started yoga, I didn't realize I wanted to start yoga. I did it out of majburi, like out of a matter of fact. Like, okay, either I have to do it or I'm going to have surgery. And like the freedom that you're talking about with your body, the limberness, the looseness, the health, like of just being able to like move my body and know I'm not going to hurt it, and being like light on my feet, flexible, kind of throwing my body wherever I want to, and it's going to be fine. It's like you have to have a consistent check-in with yourself instead of being like, I want to blank. Yeah. But the last thing I was going to say is like, it's so funny. We're taught at the youngest age, we're shown the food pyramid. And then as you get older, they just start eliminating aspects of it and being like, this is what you need to be healthy. Isn't that crazy?
Wait, what does the food pyramid look like now?
No, so like
It's
I'm
just
saying,
like one block.
yeah. So what I'm saying is like, like we had the food pyramid. There was like 8 different sections, right?
Yeah.
It's like we know that we need all these food groups to be healthy. But then when you get into diet culture, they're like, here's these 2 parts of the food groups. Only stay within these to achieve your goals. Like, how does that make sense?
Well, so the food pyramid, like I remember that at the top, it was like, this is how much, it was like portions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can only have this much sweets to be in a healthy sort of state, this many fruits and vegetables, this much protein,
This
right?
much carbs. Yeah.
So what are they eliminating? Basically, they're just saying
I'm
like
saying
have the
diet culture eliminates
Oh,
entire
diet culture
blocks.
does. Okay.
Like they're like, okay, take away the sweets, take away the carbs, take away this, and only do these. And then we as adults, even though we're taught at the youngest age that this food pyramid is how we're going to, be healthy.
Yeah.
As an adult, they're like, hey, take away all these parts, stay within these 2 blocks, and you're going to be at your best physique.
Post Eid,
No.
I've been only at the top block.
And just sweets.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
cute.
actually usually at that block, and I like that block. It makes me feel amazing.
Yeah.
Even though you literally just said that you quit carbs and you felt amazing.
I usually feel amazing. The thing about me is I usually
You
feel
always
amazing.
feel amazing.
Yeah.
That's what
I
you say.
just like going into something knowing what effects it has and just being okay with it.
Yeah.
I enjoy myself, to be honest, like when it comes to that kind of stuff. When it comes to work and other things, I really press myself. I go hard, and I don't cut corners. I don't make excuses in that regard. In other aspects of my life, I like having fun, and mostly I like other people to enjoy themselves, like enjoying company and all that kind of stuff. So like, again, the whole moderation, balance. Hey, Isan's laughing, but listen, making fun of you is part of it. All right.
You realize both me and both Amber and I were both just smiling like you're full of it.
Imagine I come up in here and say like, yo, get the cameras ready. Do this. And then we're just sitting here like, today we're talking about the news. Come on.
Yeah, because you spend the whole time roasting us when the camera.
The roasting is necessary.
Yeah, the roasting is necessary.
The
And it's
roasting
fun.
is super
Unless it
necessary.
gets toxic,
it is fun.
which it does.
Oh no, it always gets toxic, but we just
handle
clap back.
Yeah, sometimes it stays in a good toxic zone though.
As long as the HR is not required. And by the way, Isan, you're no longer the HR department.
I'm still. You can't make that decision.
Yeah, I can, because
Nah.
I am the HR department again.
Nah.
Yeah.
All right,
You're-
we'll have a. What should we
Honestly,
do over
I think
this?
Shamir should be the HR department. He's the most balanced of it all.
That's exactly
I like
why
that
he
word.
can't be
Yeah.
HR.
That's a good word. Balanced.
Shamir's low-key toxic.
That's true.
He enjoys,
Low-key toxic is better than high-key
especially
toxic.
for content.
Wait, am I high key toxic?
You've been high-key toxic today, Asan.
Yeah.
Have I?
Today.
He's been opening
How?
up.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Asan, you
This
said
side.
you said some things today.
Toxic boy.
I don't know what
Don't
you're
make me
talking
bring
about.
up the mic cover situation, sir.
Oh, the audience doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's a simple
And-
thing too. It's
So,
not that toxic.
so after or on the last night of Ramadan, we have in our Desi culture Chaand Raat. Does anybody else do this, by the way?
Don't believe
I think
so.
it's just this.
just
I think
us?
it's Desis.
Hmm.
I believe so.
So Chaand Raat, meaning like moon night, basically is
Moon night.
is like the
Night of
Christmas
the
Eve
Yeah, Christmas Eve of Eid.
of Eid, right? So
Or
it's
the Eid Eve.
Except it's like preparation.
Yeah.
it's a
Kinda.
party.
Not
It's a,
this
it's a big party.
It's a party,
not
but
preparation.
no, it is primarily preparation.
No, but I guess so.
like
yeah.
getting the
Like,
hen, you
Okay,
get the henna
henna's for
done,
Eid.
getting the
the
clothes.
henny. Whoa,
Whoa.
which Chaand Raat event were you at?
You got to get the henny
Low-key,
ready for
that's
after
probably what
Ramadan.
happens, but-
I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
low key. Okay, so in Pakistan, people go crazy.
Henna
on,
and Henny.
Oh,
on,
hen on one hand, henny in the other.
Yeah, unfortunately, I heard this from my uncle. He told me that on like Chaand Raat,
Yeah.
for some reason we have obviously non-Muslims in Pakistan too, but the alcohol is supposed to be for them, but he said that all like the bars and the liquor shops, they just go empty on
Oh
Chaand
my
Raat.
God.
Wait, they
'Cause
have
people
liquor
are-
stores in Pakistan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're not supposed to be there, but they're there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, the white on the Pakistan flag is for minorities. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that that's the reason for it, but I'm just saying like, it's not just
Yeah.
like an all
Also, Pakistan has a beer company like manufactured
No.
Yeah.
from
In
It's called
Murray.
Murray Beer
What?
Company. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a known thing, and there's a lot of people that are obviously not practicing there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
a lot of
And there's
people-
Christians in Pakistan too. And there's like
Yeah.
a Sikh, what's it called? Holy site. they have like Gurdwara there and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of minorities there. But anyways, we had a little Chaand Raat event that we were doing in Virginia. Thanks to Shamir's mom for hooking that up. She runs a lot of like events and stuff like that. But yeah, we were invited.
My best friend.
Amber was trying to be her best friend the whole night.
I was trying so hard, and I really feel like I made a big impact.
I told my mom, I was like, she's trying to be her friend. Like, go talk to her.
Did you tell her? Stop.
Yeah, and so then she
so embarrassing.
told you to come with her, I think, go somewhere.
She had me go like do a TV segment. They like put it on TV or something.
Did it work?
That's funny.
Yeah, she put me.
No,
on.
but were you friends?
Yeah, me and her ended up being great friends.
Amber,
then.
is there anyone that you see that you're like, I don't
wanna
want to be friends with them? Like, I feel like you said this yourself. You collect friends.
It's kind of, you know how you said this before where you're
Pokemon
like,
trainer over here.
where you're like, you collect personalities. Like,
Me?
Yeah, you do. He does. You don't think so? He like collects people.
Well,
think
okay,
about our
okay.
friends group,
I
and when
see
he
what
tries to bring people in, he like collects personalities.
When I think
different
that
personalities.
a personality will either, cause some sort of havoc or like will blend in nicely, then I'll want to include that just to see how they work together.
He didn't think my personality fit in.
Yeah, he did. He likes you.
I was making a joke.
Oh.
Well, no, I didn't consider his personality. I just considered your skills.
No, he considered my work ethic, but he's not the one that said, "Hey, come hang out with us outside of work."
Yes,
that was
I did.
Personal.
I hung out with you. I'm the only one that hung out with you outside of this.
No, but Frost likes to like be friends with the people he works with as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important to me.
I was just trying to make a quick joke on how Amber's a better friend than you, and like it fell loose and it was lost in all.
You know what? You're loose.
The,
all right? Be quiet.
The best friend of them all was Shamir's mom, and then I tried so hard to also be friends with your brother, and then your uncle came in and just made a joke about how your brother's of age in front of everybody, and as if I'm trying to holla.
Shout
and I
out
wasn't.
Polo Man.
Shout out.
And
This
I
is
was
the
like,
types of jokes that Hadi makes.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, now it's ruined. So then I walked by your brother. I was like, I'm not trying to hit on you. I'm just trying to get my book back.
Dang, you made it weird.
Yeah, you made it weird.
I mean, we laughed. That was furthering my attempt at being
weird,
friends.
though.
It's really weird. I'm
The
not
young,
trying to
the
holler
young
at
man
your
has had an
trust.
age where it's just like, you don't fit in with like the older crowd yet.
Yeah.
But
It's
definitely
too
not
old for
the
the
little
younger.
kids. So it's just like, it's the too cool
It's
phase.
awkward, yeah.
The awkward sort of phase. And if you make a joke like that, then it's going to be even more awkward.
Shami, why'd you tell your mom trying to be friends? I wanted to see if I could do it.
Why? No, I already showed her the text you sent.
Oh,
Yeah. She was
man. I
laughing.
wanted to see if I could do it like I could achieve it.
Wait, do what?
Become friends with my mom.
Dude, play
we had a
the
whole conversation.
podcast
I
back.
thought you were already friends with her.
No, but like friends.
Okay.
You want to be a part of the auntie gossip.
No, okay.
Yes, basically.
No, I just wanted to be friends. Me and Shamir's mom aren't close. I just want to be close.
Want to get matching pedicures.
She
and all
doesn't have a
that?
daughter, okay?
So you want to be your daughter?
No, I don't want to be her daughter. I was just trying to be a friend.
Yeah, I don't want Amber at my house. so
Yeah.
Said that in such
That's
a
too much.
disapproving way.
Yeah.
It was disapproving.
It was.
The event though was pretty lit. It's after COVID, so it's kind of weird. Like we haven't had this type of event in a long time. We haven't done shows since 2 years.
Yeah.
So it was wild. And the songs that we were doing and stuff like that, everyone was super amped for. Because usually at these events, it's a lot of like slow singing, whatever.
Yeah.
So we brought like some hype energy. I gotta say, man, Brown boys are special.
Why?
Brown boys are extreme with their feelings. Okay. There's the one side that they're just like, they love with a passion. When we got out there, as soon as I came out, right, like Ihsan was there, like a group of them just grabbed me and just started like hurtling around me, and I was like, COVID, and they were just like, yeah, Frosty, I love you, man, blah, blah. And
you don't have
were
a
they
mask on because
actually-
you were performing.
Were they actually fans of yours? Or they were just like,
I don't. Well, all of them came up afterwards and said we've been
Yeah.
watching you since we were kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean,
there you
yeah,
go.
but like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they were just overly excited in the moment. I don't think that like if it was one-on-one, any
They're
of them
like
would have done that.
passionate beings.
Yeah.
But at the end, like there was this one guy specifically that he's just like, he was on me.
Was this the one who threw money on you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Is
then,
this
and
the
then,
one with the light up mask?
yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
And then his name's Waleed. Shout out Waleed. But he goes like after I'm leaving, he's like, okay, my John, like I love you. He goes like, I love you, my John, which my John is like saying my love.
Yeah.
And yeah, technically my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's like saying my love. And I was like, we just met. That's why he's like, I love you. Like he was recording me. He's just like, do you love me? And I was just like, yeah, I love you, bro. But it was just like this funny thing. It was cool. I'm all cool with it. I'm not like pause or any of that stuff.
Yeah. Brown boys do that with like that type of stuff, but they also do it with like relationships too. Like they always take it like, I like will die for you.
Oh, that's like the fob, like super extra messaging. They mean well.
No, of course.
It's just of course. The way that it comes out is just like
poetic, but they're trying to be poetic, but it comes out as very like funny.
Extreme.
Extreme.
Like quoting Bruno Mars and all that.
No, like worse, like I'll cut off, not like cut off, but like
like I will trade my life or sacrifice my life for you.
Yeah. Put Pakistan. Get it. And then there's the other side. If you piss off the brown boys or they see some competition.
Oh, it's over.
It's a knife fight outside.
They pull the knives.
There was a knife fight. They pulled out the knives like the Beat It music video, Michael Jackson, and they were basically going at it. And then the cops came.
There wasn't a knife fight, or I thought they just pulled it out, and then the cops came. Like it was about to get to that level.
Yeah, it was probably just going back and forth. What do you say?
Okay, but what this event doesn't end up with boys fighting outside.
Wait, what do they fight over?
Why are you bringing knives to an Eid celebration anyways?
Yo, when I tell you there's a special breed of brown men that like think they go so hard and they just end up fighting outside.
Wait, what do they fight over? Like it's not like a girl, right? Or
like,
is it a girl?
One person revved their engine harder than the other.
Yeah. It just looks, bro. I see this all the time because I get this. If somebody doesn't know us at an event or we're just like they're vibing out, I get if somebody is like, the alpha competition that brown boys have a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, this happens with other people too. In a club setting, especially. This is one of the reasons I hate clubs.
Oh, you was looking at my girl. No.
You were looking at me.
You
were looking at me.
Not even
Why
that.
are you looking at me like that?
Not even that. You look like that.
You look like that.
This is what I get. You look like that. Why does this guy look like that?
Yeah.
This is the question.
True.
And it's intimidating.
And you specifically, they do have like a weird. I know what you mean. Like when you're like,
I am not gonna fight. Like straight up, if anybody sees me in a club and I look like I want to fight you,
yo, even the uncles be looking like trying to give Nazar. They're like, "What is this kid doing? Like, why is he looking
this
like
is
that?
my
why
face.
is his hair long?
Yeah, why is his hair long?
I mean, I come with love. I don't want to fight anybody. I don't
you
care.
You have a very punchable face.
If I
Take that as a compliment.
Gosh, I don't think it's a punchable face. I think the face is a threat to
They
some.
get intimidated.
Yeah, it's an intimidation thing.
even if I can fight you, I'm not going to like some people.
Yeah.
They really get a thrill out of like, let me see. There's people that I've been with friends with who are like, yo, let's see who we can get today. And I'm like, no, can we not do that? Like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah,
because it's just like so unnecessary. And I'll also like just like how crazy it can get. It's why it's not worth it. It's weird to me. It's whack to me. It makes no sense.
But it goes, once you start, it doesn't end. And when you have situations like that, like Baltimore Muslim community is filled with people like that.
Yeah.
And
okay, just throw the whole Baltimore community under the bus.
No,
There's great people.
No. They're great people. I'm just saying that I see a lot of that because it's such a big community. There's a chunk that, in every community, there's always like a chunk that, thinks that they're hard. No.
You know what it is? They've never gotten an opportunity to express or like challenge that side of themselves, where they've either been like, held up in the house all their lives, or just like they've been bullied in some way. So when they get to a certain level of like independence and or just size or something,
but it's like it's always about respect on my name. Like, what are you worried about other people's respect? Like, why are you wasting your time about people putting respect on your name?
They play too much Grand Theft Auto. That's essentially what it is.
Well, they just want to basically like prove to themselves almost that like I can win in a fight.
Mm-hmm. Or my boys can take you over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like a part of something.
It's a weird thing. But
anyways, the performance, you guys.
Yeah. Performance was fun. I was really excited. I was like, holy crap. Like
that performance was dope.
What'd you think?
Mad dope.
This was the first time
I was moving.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know what was happening. I was just holding the camera. I started dancing on the floor with you.
And he was helping us record and all that stuff. So he recorded our performance. What'd you think and everything?
I mean, it was dope. Y'all stage presence was, I mean, your brown boys that you were talking about that kept hugging you in the beginning. They didn't really pay attention that much, like once you guys started, but And that's not on you.
Oh, they were getting lit on their own.
Yeah.
They were getting lit
side.
on their own, but that random pockets. Like you had, Shamir, you had to go up several times to be like, hey, for them to even. But no, I mean that was a lit performance.
Yeah, that was his
And,
first
like, I
time
can't
seeing
wait
us
to see more.
live. So yeah, that was a
Yeah,
good
it was.
review.
It's always fun. I think we're at a level now that like we're having fun. For us, I know that you were like I was. We were just having fun with it, and
Yeah.
we're like usually also.
Y'all look real professional when you're performing.
Thank
Oh,
you,
like,
man.
thanks,
That,
man.
that
joke,
means
Yeah.
a
like
lot.
hands down.
And you've seen a lot of performances, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
that means a lot.
Yeah, that does mean a lot. Usually, like we're also worried about like a million other factors, but having you there also helps. And you know,
Yeah.
Amber, Emma, Dawa, like everybody
Yeah.
who was helping out run everything out because there's a lot that goes into what we do. And you know, for example, setting up the merch table for marketing and all that kind of stuff, and then having obviously you being able to record the footage
Yeah.
rather than us having to like hand it to different people.
This time it really felt like everyone had like a thing to do and it was
Right.
all equal.
Yeah.
Like even though, you know, we're on stage, we're performing, it didn't feel like, oh, that's the biggest thing. It felt like, oh, that's just one piece of the
Definitely, so
puzzle.
everyone has a role to play, and
Yeah.
everyone's got to play it correctly.
Yeah. And that event really felt like that. Like everyone
Yeah.
is like owning their role and stuff. So
I was a little bit worried going back after COVID. I was like, okay, like, you know, we didn't rehearse, like, cause you know, we were here prepping, we prepped over FaceTime. Like,
Yeah, Amber was
we
like,
didn't-
"Do you know your lyrics?"
I was like, yeah, like, do you guys know like, are you guys like, are we good? And it gave me the biggest sigh of relief to see you guys go up there and just do your thing effortlessly. It was great. I was so happy.
I can't wait till your tonsils are fixed so you can join us.
yeah.
Facts.
Well, not fixed, but you know your whole
Yeah. Face.
situation. Yeah. Yeah. At one point, it felt like I was handing out mixtapes with like the marketing situation, because like one of the, it's a humbling moment, but also it's like it's a moment of you feel like you're hustling and you're doing your thing when we had a whole booth set up, and you know you have to walk around and basically tell people who you are, what you do, get them to come to the table. I'm handing
And that
out,
it's okay to approach you. I feel like that's
Yeah.
huge because like they need the confirmation it's okay to approach you, because when I was by myself, so many people came up and were like, oh my God, hey, like I watch you, blah, blah, blah. But when I was at the table, nobody was like
Yeah.
specifically
Dude,
coming up to be
exactly.
that. But when you're walking around alone or
Yeah.
whatever, they're like, hey, I just want to
and
let
when
you
we
know
were
this.
dancing on the dance floor, like
Yeah.
then people were like really.
I was like in the bathroom, this dude in this like peeing right next to me was like, yo, dude, I watch you. And I'm like, oh, snap, that's awesome. I was like, come through the table, come say hi to everyone else.
Well, like y'all said, you know, a lot of these guys have been watching y'all's videos for years, right? And it's like one example when I was doing stuff with Native Dean on Dean TV, right? Like a lot of people were afraid to bring up like, yo, how's it with Native Dean? I'm like, dude, they're just people. Like, come on, man.
And we're really that way because I feel most comfortable when I'm around, family, friends, and you guys are all like family. So when it's that type of environment, we're just us being us, and people can approach us, and we're gonna make the same jokes and whatever else, because we're really like this in real life when we're not doing the podcast or we're not shooting videos and stuff. And so for people to come up, it gives us more sort of excitement, another person to chat with, get to know about them, what they're like,
And make new jokes. Like there's a lot of times where we make new jokes with that person we just meet or something like that.
and get to know them, and then keep up with them. There's fans that have been here since day one, literally,
Yeah.
who we're friends with,
Yeah.
and like having that kind of relationship of like growing together and seeing where they're at, them seeing where we're at, how hard we've been working for all these years. Like that's amazing. And
Even one of them's our intern now too, like one of the oldest fans.
Shout out Sadia.
Yeah.
Sadia's has been killing it
Yeah. And she's been helping us with our RwnlPwnl Instagram and all that stuff. So she's amazing.
for a long time. Yeah.
Shout out Sadia.
And then there was this funny moment. One of the things I hate being like perceived as is, as much as we joke about it, is an F-boy, like legit, because when it comes to parents, I love people's parents. I would rather talk to your parents than I would talk to you, because it's just like you get so much more wisdom and conversation that you wouldn't normally have. But anyways,
And you're good at it too.
when somebody's parents think that I'm like some F-boy, whatever, like I get really upset about that, because I'm just like, no, it's just like this is like what we do happens to be what we do because we like it. And it's not for, I mean, I can't speak on every single person, but like I know my friends and I know who we are and what we're about. And like, we don't do it for fame and attention. Maybe subconsciously there is that there. I'm not going to like say that it's not there. It's nice to have that kind of stuff, but
I feel
we
like,
really love
I feel like aunties and uncles would think that you guys are like doing it like maybe like even for like
show.
the girls,
For girls.
Exactly,
and like that
yeah,
type of thing.
Star, like
I really love art.
yeah.
I love it. Like I don't see myself doing anything else. But anyways, there was sometimes moments like this happen. There was like these two girls that came up
Oh yeah.
and they wanted a picture, and you know, like you and I are both like this, where we're not sure. We try to respect
Halal
their
gap.
boundaries. Halal
Yeah.
gap. Sometimes they put an arm around or whatever, and I'm like, okay. I usually put my hands like to
By
the
side.
or like folded or whatever, because I want to be respectful.
Yeah.
And all of that. And neither of us are people that would do anything beyond, maybe an arm around or something.
Yeah.
Because that makes me uncomfortable. So these two girls came up and they just wanted like a Snapchat, right? I'm standing behind them. They're making it in front of me. I'm like, okay, this is cool. And they were like making a video. And then I'm like, oh, like, what are you guys' names, by the way? And then they start telling me, and then they stop the video and then put it down. And then I was like, oh, that's it? Like, did you want me to say something? Like, whatever. And then they just like walked, and then I saw an auntie behind them. And then I was like, and then Amber was like, oh yeah, they were fans. They wanted a picture or something. And I was like, yeah, it was really weird. They just got like a little segment of me asking them what their names are. And then she's like, no, that was their mom. And they saw like her coming from the corner of their eye, and she basically approached them because she was like, what do you think you're doing?
Yeah.
Oh.
So like they came up to me. So one of the events coordinators was like, hey, let's take a picture. So I did. And then those two girls ran up. They're like, hey, can we take a picture with you too? I was like, yeah. I was like, Frost right there. Like, oh my God, we want a picture. I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, Frost, can you take a picture with these girls? So he goes and they take the picture, and they literally like disconnect their eyes and just start walking away.
Like they don't say bye,
They
nothing.
just start
And I was just
walking.
like, what happened?
And I see from the corner of my eyes, like this mom was like pushing a chair away, like moving things out of her
Jeez.
way to like get over there to stop them from taking the picture. So they just like walk away really quickly so they wouldn't get embarrassed by the mom telling them to stop in front of him.
Oh my
That makes me
gosh.
so sad because I would have loved to talk to the mom.
Yeah.
Remember after the Mickey Sing show, there was these kids who came up and they were like talking to us, and we were getting to know like what they do and all of that. It was super cool. And then they brought their parents.
Oh, yeah,
And
their
the parents
parents
were even more excited because they were like, we watch your stuff as a family. And we were actually talking to the mom for a long
Yeah.
time. And that's like, it's so beautiful because we see them as like, as we would see our parents and stuff. And like,
Yeah.
we tell them about our parents, and our parents love and support what we do. So it becomes that type of relationship. But when this sort of thing happens, I feel so like,
Sad.
You want
yeah,
me to
but
tell
also
you though?
like, oh, I should like, almost like I should know better.
No,
you
you
know,
know
like-
what it is? Like even when I used to take pictures of like Mickey Sang and Imran Khan back in the day, my mom used to like tell me, don't post the picture. And I was like, why? Why can't I post the picture? And in their minds, they were like, you don't want these boys trying to claim that you're their girl, like online. I was like, Mama, they don't care. Like they don't care enough. And I think it's just like that innocence of like, what are like, oh, these boys are like trying to
Yeah.
do whatever. They don't maybe like get it all the way.
I respect
and they're like
it.
protecting.
I respect it. I'm not saying that like they don't have a right to feel that way, because that happens out there, you know?
Yeah.
But like just
Yeah.
knowing how they're thinking in the back of our heads makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like when you know that that's not your intention, and I
Yeah.
hope that it never is, then of course it just feels like you're disconnected.
Yeah.
You don't get to make a connection as on a human being level. You're an artist, and you don't get near somebody's kids because you could have a bad influence on them. And again, I respect it because there are people out there that
use their
have
power.
they use their power in a certain way, and there's extreme cases of it, like R. Kelly, and so I respect it, but it's just like one of those things where I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But there are cool aunties out there. We met some cool aunties. There was one who was really supporting us since the beginning. The funny thing about some aunties is that they will be like, they can do you the biggest favor in the world. Like you need them.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like trying to tell you like, oh, you need to do things this way, and you need to come to like my events, and then you're going to be like this big thing. And like, it won't ever be considered as like a business sort of approach. It's like they're doing you a favor because you are entertaining.
Yeah.
And then they want you at their event. And this one auntie particularly
free.
was like, huh?
free.
For free, of course. But this one auntie was like saying basically that like, oh yeah, like we have weddings and stuff, and like, you guys would be great at weddings. And I'm just like, I don't want to be like a wedding
Wedding performer.
wedding performer.
Wedding
like
singer.
like we crash weddings.
Yeah.
But we don't like, just do Like we're not the entertainment in the background. And that's fine if you are like that's what you're into or like that's what you provide.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't let us grow as what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And then there was this one other, she's not an auntie, but she was like this younger
What are we talking about here?
we're talking about the Latina
Veronica.
insurance lady.
There's this girl
Veronica.
out of nowhere. She approaches
Oh, my
Emma.
bad. Maybe I shouldn't say her name. That was stupid of me.
Okay, there's this girl. She approaches
In a vlog.
She approaches
Oh,
Emma.
yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, oh my gosh, I thought you were this DJ." Like she literally approaches him saying, "Hey, oh my gosh, I thought you were this DJ."
Yeah.
And then Ahmed's like, "Oh no, I'm not this DJ." And then I'm messing around with Ahmed because I know he's uncomfortable. And I'm like, "No, he is a DJ." And then this girl's like, "What? He is a DJ?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he's a DJ." And Ahmed's like, "No, he's lying. He's lying." And I'm like, "No, he's a DJ." And so then the whole time she's like, "No, but you look just like him. Oh my gosh, where you go?" And then she's like started a conversation.
And she sat at her
table.
table.
Sat her at a table.
I walked up, I was like, who is this? Who are you guys all talking to? And she was just like the most lit, like she was basically like a cougar.
She was. Strong cougar energy coming
Strong
from her.
cougar energy. And she looked like Shakira.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like basically
Shakira with straight short hair.
basically she was just like really
Open.
and I was like,
Okay, open guys, use a proper word. Suggestive.
yeah, she was like winking and like biting her lip and doing all this extra stuff. And we were like, at one point we were like, read Shamir's hand. And then she was like, oh, I don't read hands, I read hearts. And then we were like, okay, what does his heart say? And then she was like, he's horny.
And I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, this girl has like no limits. So I literally said to her, I was like, I wasn't horny before you got here. And then she
Yo, you're wild for
He's
that.
so
No,
wild.
but like
And y'all called me wild.
she
Damn.
didn't care. And I was just like testing the water. Obviously that's not true. And then
he says it in a way that's like acceptable though. Like it doesn't come across as like disrespectful.
yeah, I
for
said it in
some
like
reason.
a joking
Yeah.
way. And then like she was just like laughing with it. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, what? I can't say that to a normal person. Like,
Yeah,
And
but
then
she,
you had the vlog camera on and she like took it as an opportunity to be like biting her lip, like winking. And Frost was asking direct questions. And instead of answering them, she just like made faces at the camera.
basically like moaning while I'm asking questions. I'm like, what's going on? And then they're like, we were asking everybody whose like hearts is what. And then she said that I'm a magician. she said that I'm a snake basically.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Veronica.
I think she was just like coming up with stuff as she went along. And she
Yeah.
was like, you had dark hair and it was long. So she was like, magician.
she had the same energy as someone who was like really high off something, like some
Yes.
drugs.
Yeah.
And I was like, is she on drugs? I don't know. I think she's naturally like that.
But it's so funny because we always have these weird experiences whenever we perform. There's always somebody that like makes it really entertaining or like just these bizarre situations that end up happening that we're just like, what the heck?
But then like Frost asked her, he was like, oh, can you read her energy? And she was like, no, I don't do that because girls are sensitive. And
Yeah.
like, obviously, if I say anything at that point, now I'm perceived as sensitive. I can't be like,
Amber's like, I'm not sensitive.
I was like, no, I'm not sensitive. You can read me. And then everybody at the table was like, she's so sensitive. She's so upset that you like da 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 da. But I was like, I hate when statements are made like that,
Yeah.
especially when you're like the girl minority, because you make it seem like, oh, like I can't handle something or whatever. Like stop being weird and just like
Amber,
say,
she was getting all the energy from the guys, so she liked it. So you were kind of
Yeah.
in her way.
a little bit, maybe. But then she came back to me on the side later and she was just like pumping like
I thought she
big
just didn't want to
energy.
like hurt your feelings because she saw
Yeah.
some negativity in your heart or something.
Also, she came to our table, I think, to promote her insurance. She like sells insurance, but she stayed for like everything else.
The
Yeah.
funny thing is, like, she followed us on Instagram, and then her profile picture is her biting her lip and winking. I was like, how do you sell insurance like this?
I was
Is this
like,
how
I
you-
think
you
the
seduce
insurance
them?
is a front. Like
Yeah.
she's like, hey, lure them in with the insurance, and then she got another deal happening.
Yeah.
I think y'all are just overreacting to everything.
No, you
dude.
it's on like you weren't there, right?
No, he wasn't
I
there.
saw
He came
I
late.
saw the one video on the like the Instagram story
If
when y'all
you
posted.
didn't,
like
if I wasn't there and they were to tell me the story later, I would literally think they're exaggerating. But she was all of that. Like it was strong, suggestive energy. And I'm not trying to shame her as a woman at all.
No, it was
I'm
amazing.
just saying it was great.
It was really funny.
such
It was really
it was
entertaining.
vibes.
Yeah.
Thank you. shout out to Veronica.
Yeah, shout out
Shout out.
Veronica.
She was fun.
Yeah.
I want to keep this going because Yeah, why not? It's a strange exchange.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a question for us, Amber?
Hold on.
For us? What do you mean a question?
She had a question. She had a question she
For
wanted
us
to bring
that
up.
she wanted to ask on the podcast.
Oh, okay. Should I go? Okay, sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, okay.
We're so nervous
it's
now.
a really simple question. Okay. And the question is just like, why do men?
Why do men?
Why do men?
Like, why do
is this-
girls do men?
Is
No,
this
not emphasis on do.
Is this
But
like a rant?
This is no, it's not.
Why do men do?
No, like why?
Why we exist?
Yeah.
About to get real personal here.
No, this is one of
this
those
is a quick
rhetorical
thing.
questions where she's going to go on a rant. Put the mics down.
Yeah,
No,
that's it.
no rant. Just a slight commentary and annoyance. It's a rant. No, I'm just kidding.
Why do men what?
Why do men? Why do men? And this is why. Okay.
Why do women?
Exactly. That was the next
What?
point. Why do people? Not just why do men? Why do people?
Why does the world?
Facts? No,
This is
long.
getting so weird.
No. I saw this example happen 4 times recently, and I'm like, why do men try to get if they can't handle a baddie? Why do they take a baddie and then try to change the baddie? They're like, why are you this way? And so my question is, overall, nothing is personal. Why do men? I'm done. I'm done with y'all. Facts.
Did someone
period.
try to change
Do,
you?
do you want to know like specifically that example? Why?
Mm-hmm.
I may not know the exact answer, but I
Yeah.
used to be in those situations where I'd be going after chick for, I guess, those baddie qualities,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then
Be mad that she's a baddie.
I wouldn't be mad, but then it would be like, okay, this isn't what I want, but now I'm in this place where I'm going after her because I like these small things that kind of make things fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know. Like
But why
I'm
go
hoping I'm
after a
providing enough
girl?
context for that.
So I guess my main question is, why do guys or why do people, when they're given all the information up front about a person, right? Like they see, like maybe for example, how they post, how they act, how they talk, like little.
All right. Kanye West
Mm-hmm.
goes after Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what Kim Kardashian posts about, what
Yeah.
she's into, how she is. And then when he says that she should cover up and
Exactly.
be a certain way, that's basically what you're talking about. And
Yes.
then they end up getting a divorce because
XYZ.
XYZ, but
But-
one of those
But
reasons.
it was there up
Because-
front to begin with. So why?
Yeah.
right, but it's not. I don't think that's present in their mind. I think they're distracted by that attraction they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this will work both ways, man and woman, right?
Mhm.
They're attracted, and then their mind is in a straightforward scenario where they only want to look at stuff they're attracted to, and they don't think about the bigger picture and everything else. You know, it's a subconscious that like we have to train ourselves to always keep a straight head when we're going into these situations, and some people don't.
Mhm.
And then once they're in, it's like, okay, now things are starting to be normal. You know, oh, she's doing this, she should probably be doing this, which wasn't even a thought in the
Mhm.
beginning.
Yeah.
You know what else it is? I think for a lot of people, it becomes a thing where you're attracted to something from a surface.
Yeah.
You like that, you lock it down, and then when they continue being that way, now other eyes are on them, and you want to possess and protect what is yours, and you
Yeah.
want ownership of that thing.
Yeah.
You want it protected. So the reality is, if that's what if you want somebody for the long term who is more modest, right? We'll use that example
Yeah.
as a physical sort of
Sure.
covering, right? If you want somebody who's modest, you know, we're talking about family.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think about, okay, this chick who doesn't cover up as much at the beginning as family in the long term. You want the short term satisfaction, and you go after that, and then you're like, hold up, I
Well-
want to turn this into quote unquote family.
Maybe you should start wearing a hijab.
Who?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, like,
Yeah.
even though I
like
know
what
that the girl that I want to have as a wife, I want her to be a hijabi, right? So you know that's a preference. That's fine if that's your preference, and that's cool. But then you still go after / date the girl who's not a hijabi, and then expect her to become what your preference is.
Yeah.
Simply because that's what you like.
Yeah.
But you knew going in
it's
what
a
she
lot of
was.
insecurity.
I think there's also a relationship like between the guy and the girl, but there's also like this, a not said personality that's like as a couple.
Mhm.
And I think that's what the guy is expecting. Okay, the girl's posting, less revealing stuff. And they're like, hopefully when we get together, maybe they're expecting, oh, like they don't have to show off essentially. And now it could be just pictures of us or whatever. And I think that's what they're expecting.
This happened not specifically. Okay, so it did actually happen to me, but not in the sense that a guy told me change. This guy approached my homegirl and was like, hey, if Amber's willing to calm down, then like I would love to wipe her up.
Bruh.
And I was like, so you know what? My friend said the most amazing thing back to him. And she goes, you see her now, that's who she is. Either you hype her or you don't.
Yeah.
And you're not going to try to get her and then change her. You don't want her. You think you want her. Because if you want her, you don't want to change her.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa.
That's how it should be.
Thank you.
That's how it should be.
Like my homegirl handled that so easily for me. So when he tried to approach me later, I was like,
until you calm down. No.
Until you calm down, sir. Until you calm down.
That's a really sort of inappropriate and immature way of thinking. At least it didn't happen to how a lot of people, it happens when they're already in it.
Mm-hmm.
They go after it. I don't think that there's anything wrong with having that conversation if it's done appropriately. So if somebody were to come up to me and say, hey, would you ever consider doing like a different field where you're not, you know, as public with yourself and et cetera, then, you know, I could have that conversation. I'd be willing to. I wouldn't be like offended by that.
Mm-hmm.
And of course it's different for girls, but I'm just, you know, speaking on my behalf because I know me. And so if somebody were like, you know, because I think that I would respect that more, my family would be this way, and I really like who you are and what you stand for, then then I could be like, okay, let me think. No, this is what I'm into. That's not going to change. I'm sorry, but thank you, you know.
There's nothing wrong with the conversation. There's absolutely something wrong with an expectation.
Yeah, absolutely. And the weird thing is, like, for me, I mentioned a career, right? For girls, it's like, it's usually the physical thing where it's just like, calm down, meaning what?
Yeah.
Meaning,
and for me, it might not be like my clothes, but it's like my personality. Like, oh, you're so outgoing, you're so friendly with guys, you're so da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, that's just my personality. I'm outgoing. Like, I would rather have somebody who like knows who I am and loves that, rather than my whole life being, knowing that my husband is insecure about me as a person, and B, like knowing that he is like uncomfortable with who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that.
That's what I like about, you know, being quote unquote online personalities. Our personalities are pretty much like most of it out there. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of filter out a lot of people. For most people, they just see pictures, and that does say a lot about somebody's personality, but not the full picture.
Yeah.
I think in our cases, like our whole entire, what we want to do, where we want to go, what we want to do with our lives is kind of like on our social media. So
it's all a front for me. I just come on here and put on a show, act, and then I go home, and then I'm a nice
serial killer.
I was going to say coder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm coding like crazy. I'm working for Silicon Valley. Like,
nice.
I'm a super genius.
I did confront him.
What'd you say?
He came up to me. He was trying to holler. And I was like, I heard what you said. And like, I wouldn't have even like entertained it. But to me, I was like,
here we go again. Amber, be careful. Is he going to listen to this podcast? I'm warning you right now.
No, that's fine.
Every time.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Listen to the podcast.
It's okay. Yeah. This time.
I know, but she's regretted it.
Yeah. I've regretted it in the past.
Yeah.
So he came up and he was like trying to holler or whatever. And I was like, you don't want me. And I didn't even want him, but I wanted to put it out there. You don't want me. Like, you already said you don't want me. You want a version of me that you hope that I can be for you. And he was like, no. Like, what I meant by that was like, okay, what I mainly meant was like your social media, right? And then I realized like, okay, cool. Like, you be posting whatever and like you do whatever. But then I realized you're not that much out there. I was just saying like, maybe you could like calm down with the post. And he's like over explaining himself about what he thought initially and like perceived based off of my social media, and how he thought I could have cut it down. But if it's a problem to me that like, okay, maybe I can like deal with it or whatever. Like, no, you've already said it, sir. You've already told me what your insecurity is about it. I'm not approaching this anymore. But yeah.
What drew him to you in this situation? That's what's confusing me.
I mean, I think I was just being me and, you know, having a good time. And I guess he just approached my homegirl in that environment and was like, hey, I'm interested in your friend if she's willing to calm down.
He said, I want that, but not as much that. Like, could we just take that and then just make it this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want a chocolate cake without the chocolate icing.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Well, same. That's completely reasonable. Then it's just a chocolate cake without the icing.
We're not friends anymore.
It still has a chocolate base.
You're not my friend. This is done. We're over.
Okay, maybe the better thing was like I want a vanilla chocolate swirl, but without the vanilla. Like you can, it's integrated already.
That's what I'd like. Yeah, because I like the chocolate part of it. Great point. Can we talk about J. Cole, man?
Yeah.
J. Cole. Cole World. Wow.
Whole world.
You guys hear the album?
No blanket.
I did.
No Blanket.
Came out with a new album.
He did. He came
did.
out with a new album. It was kind of a surprise. He started teasing it a few weeks ago. I mean, there was singles that came out before that, but this whole kind of project came out all of a sudden. But it was, for me, I think for the last few years, really, music has been so passive. I don't know about you guys, but things come and go. I hear it, it's gone, it's a trend, whatever. You know, there was a time where, and it's not like this is super dated, but not even that long ago, there's people that are releasing projects and that project lasts for like a season, a year, a few years.
The album experience.
It's a mood.
Yeah.
And it's cohesive. It tells some sort of a story.
Sometimes it's just, here's an
A mood.
album. No, sometimes here's just an album. All right, let's move on to the next album.
Yeah.
Last album doesn't count.
Yeah, and this depends on the artist too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
J. Cole is one of those artists that he cares a lot about the message and the story, his story that he puts out there, people, and about like learning about himself.
Yeah.
And this project is one of those things, the off season, where if you watch the documentary that came out with it, it's like
It's
a
really
12-minute documentary. He makes this incredible, and by the way, I'm not like a super J. Cole stan.
Yeah.
I love his artistry and stuff, but I've never been like crazy about him. I know some people are like, oh my
if you're
God,
a J.
like
Cole
the
fan, like you're like you go
they'll let you know
all
it. Like
off.
J. Cole fans are
Yeah,
low-key
yeah.
annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, like after this, I was watching the documentary and this analogy that he makes to music and basketball was so incredible. He says about basketball that, you know, when you go in to play basketball, you don't just get to say that I'm going to be this incredible NBA player and then you're that, right? Like for a while, J. Cole was saying that he wants to be a rapper and his friends are going off to college and to work. And he's telling them that he wants to be a rapper, but they themselves confronted him and said, you know, we don't see you
Like
making
writing bars.
music.
Yeah.
You're at the party that we're at right now. What are you doing? And he kind of had this like, you know, realization. It's like, yeah, I need to be making music if I want to be a rapper. I can't just like hold all of this in. And just like basketball, you know, there's guys that are making 1,000 shots after games just so they can keep that shot. You know, Kobe Bryant is one of those great examples of just somebody who's just like always working on his craft. You don't just get to be Kobe without the practice part of it in that way. And he kind of treated, you know, writing as drills, like basketball drills.
Yeah.
And it has this overall, like you don't have to be like basketball or rap music or anything to understand what the underlying theme here is, that routine, that consistency that it takes to be great.
And we're talking about last episode, discipline.
Discipline. Making that discipline to just want to be great. Now, some people are naturally just gifted, right? But what's the saying? It's like hard work beats talent every time. And this is one of those cases where it's just like, what?
No. It was Hassan keeps getting mad that I keep moving my mic off my face. It had nothing to do with you this time.
Yeah, and like last week we talked about DJ Khaled, right?
I like this rant.
We never even talked about the music. This is what's funny. We never even talked about DJ Khaled's music. This is how like mediocre it was, because it's not worth talking about. We talked about everything else but the music, because DJ Khaled, with all, I want to, you know, pay respects to him. He does great marketing. He is a great DJ. He's made great music. But what he's been doing lately is just try to get number one spots and try to make hits and put any random people together. J. Cole, you know, he was saying on the records, he says that I have trouble putting out certain thoughts. Like, is this the best it can be? Is this worth putting out there? And that's like something that I'll relate to, where I just feel sometimes like I'll hear something, I'll get super inspired by it, and I'm like, well, do I need to make that because it's already out there? Does the world need this from me? What does the world need from me? Yeah. And as you get older, you start to learn your story, because you're a kid, you just make whatever, right? But when you get older, you sort of figure out your struggles, your story, the things that mean something to you. And this project, the off season for J. Cole, First of all, I love the music on it, but also just the meaning behind it and like what it means to him. The man is literally like playing basketball while so he's literally living out that metaphor. And he's actually playing on the team for Rwanda, I think it is.
Yeah.
Like professional basketball in Africa.
How's he doing that with putting out an album?
He's been practicing for a long time. He actually happens to be an incredible basketball player. He's been that for a while. He plays with professional like NBA players, just like Drake and Quavo and these guys, which is like an advantage they have. But he's tall, he's athletic. And yeah, he's now playing. And like one of the producers, I think it was saying that like, yo, I wanted to tell Cole how successful his album is and everyone's talking about it, but the man is literally like coming out of scrimmage on his call and he doesn't know like what's happening. So like think about the mindset, right? Like you're supposed to relax and like be like, oh, I put out this project, but that routine and that discipline doesn't stop.
Yeah. And I think what's cool about Cole is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but past couple of years, his music's kind of been mid. It's not been the greatest. And he's even said himself, like his last best album was 2014 Forest Hills Drive, which was in 2014. And he's had like the most success from that album. And so everything else he's gotten platinum or whatever, but you know, culturally hasn't made a huge difference. And I think that affects a lot of people. You hear that from Eminem, right? Mm-hmm. He's on the top. He can't relate to people anymore. J. Cole's his characteristics is somebody that he'll always relate to the normal person.
Well, let me stop you real quick. Eminem came back. Music to be Murdered By. He came back. Slim Shady came back. That album was dope. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Well, I mean...
But anyways, I just had to correct you real quick.
Debate.
I just had to correct you.
By the way, I'm a huge Eminem fan. Isan, you'll learn that. But we're talking about like basically Eminem is also in his own zone. J. Cole is literally out in the streets with people. He knows what's going on. Like Eminem, it feels like he just found out about, you know how that SNL skit was with Elon Musk, and
he's a little disconnected.
He's a little it feels like that. And also it's always this kind of like energy of like, oh, this guy doesn't really like know what's going on.
And it's like a certain level of fame when you're there for long enough. It's like you can't even blame them for being disconnected in some way. Like the greats, like Lil Wayne is like a little disconnected. Like Nicki's like a little disconnected because they've been in that place for so long that it's hard to relate to the average person.
But then in the same sort of literally from like the same label, you have Drake, who he's constantly refreshing and changing up what he does and the people he connects with, right? Like he works with new artists, he's out in the streets, he's exploring new cultures. So people don't get tired of Drake's sound because it's always like
Drake's out here always.
It's always being like reinvented in a way and perfected.
I get what you're saying there actually, especially when we're talking about J. Cole and Eminem, right? So music to be murdered by as a lyricist, you know.
Of course, I agree with
myself,
you.
I'm just like, this is dope.
On a technical point, Eminem is not to be argued with.
But what's funny when it comes to J. Cole, the Force album, right? At first, when I heard it, well, of course, a buddy of mine was saying J. Cole was the best MC alive. And I'm like, bro, stop. And then I got turned off. And then when I listened to the music, I'm like, okay, this is all right. Dude has some bars. But then when you actually listen and vibe with the album and get that energy he's pushing out, then it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, what I like is that it feels like he brought Raat back for a moment. Like he brought something back in me that I can't keep up with music. It made me want to rap.
It made me want to rap.
Not make, produce, nothing. It made me want to write. It made me want to really tell like what I care about and do that kind of stuff. When it feels like, when I said music is passive, it feels like people catch on to these trends. All the music sounds pretty much the same. If you go on TikTok, a lot of that music has the same sort of arrangements and same sort of sounds, and people are learning and you know, doing that stuff together. But J. Cole, like it feels like for a while, you know, we haven't had rapidy rappers in a while. Like I still look at Jay-Z.
Yeah,
that sounds good to the mainstream, I guess. I would say.
Well, you got to follow, especially
and not only to the mainstream, but like people who don't like mainstream.
Yeah.
I also feel like J. Cole has gotten like so much backlash too whenever he puts out like a controversial or strong opinion of any kind. Like even, what was it, like a year ago, 2 years ago, he put out something about how like, you know, people who are like woke, like they're not even really woke. But he had something genuine he was trying to say behind it, but it made it sound like he was attacking people, and it was taken out of context, personally, I feel like. And like, it was kind of like shoved in his face. So then he had to apologize about something.
Well, he had a diss track made about him by this rapper named No Name. And she was like, oh, you're whack, like you're washed up, all that stuff. And then
didn't it have something to do with like misogyny too?
Yeah, something like
because
that.
he often has lyrics that are misogynistic.
Something like that.
Because I feel like he feels. I feel like he's the type of person that really feels. So like when he makes songs, like what's that one song? It's like, count me out, count my vote. Like that song, I don't know why it hits different for me, for him, because it's like, it feels like a message and he seems like a message person. And that's what all the J. Cole fans always say. They're like, oh, his music, you know, feels different, whatever. And since he's such a feeler and he's not able to get that, maybe invoke that same emotion. And if he does make too strong of a statement, he's getting canceled.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like to balance that as an artist.
Well, most people like in his position will probably like not respond, maybe make like a different diss track back. I think he made a song just explaining his feelings, why he was like, you know, maybe wrong or by accident or whatnot. And
that's the type of dude he is. He made a song apologizing to Nas. Yeah. Like I failed Nas. Like who else does that?
Yeah, and that's what I like. That's what I like about him. Yeah, that's what I like about him because he's like, I'm a person, right? I don't have to be right or wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry or whatever. Like this is how I feel, and maybe I'll make a song about it. Maybe I'll, you know, go in a protest and walk about it. Even though people roast him, be like, "Don't you have millions of dollars? Shouldn't you donate it?" Like he's, you know, trying to be with the people and all that stuff. So.
What I appreciate the most about this album and as an artist, what I can really take away a lot is, you know, one line in particular that kind of wraps it up. This moment in time when he says, "The success will fade, but respect don't." And on that whole song, he basically talks about how, you know, all these things are temporary. They come and they go, but what he's leaving the world with is himself, is all of himself. It's nothing, because right now, you know, and for the past few years, I mean, like, Shamir, like we talk about this all the time where it just feels like we're wanting to create art, but we have to like involve as much business into it as possible because Gary Vee tells us to, and because other people tell us to, where it just feels like, oh, we should just put content out. And it's like good strategizing, but yeah, I mean, like what's your legacy when all of this is done? You put out this many songs, like no offense to Russ. I think Russ is incredible at doing that kind of stuff, but like sometimes I don't know if he's saying much besides like that he did what he did, which is just like, you know, produce all that stuff, and that he changed his family's life, and that he has a lot of money now, and like it's cool, but I'm just like a lot of this just kind of feels the same, and I don't know who you really like. You know who Jay-Z is, you know, like what everything's like, I'm from Marcy Projects, I'm from this, and like I did this when I was at this age, whatever, and you know, like Lil Wayne's story, and like we haven't had that in a while.
Yeah. So
it just feels like a really good moment in time.
I know
your girl,
It does feel like a really great moment in time.
Your girl also dropped was it a mixtape?
So it's a mixtape she made 12 years ago.
Nicki Minaj.
Oh. Yeah. So
and she like publicly released it.
She never put them on like streaming platforms before, especially like her early stuff.
But it was like on SoundCloud and like
that. It was on YouTube,
YouTube
mainly.
Okay.
And she did a mixtape with DJ Holiday. Is that his name? Yeah. And she made like iconic music that I was so annoyed basically all through my teens and like my adulthood that I can't listen to it on Apple Music. I literally till this day, like last month, looked up Itty Bitty Piggy on YouTube just to listen to it. And it used to bother me all the time because Itty Bitty Piggy is like an iconic moment for me in music. That's the first time that I like listened to a song and I like dissected it, looked at it, tried to learn it. And it was like a moment for me. All the songs on that was like the first time, you know, I got introduced to Nicki through Bedrock. The song Bedrock had a whole bunch of artists
Young
on
Money. Like basically that was the big Avengers moment for Young Money.
And then, you know, it was Monster. And then that mixtape was just such a monumental moment. And then now it's crazy because she just dropped it as the 12-year anniversary. And I listened to her live a little while ago, but she dropped it on streaming platforms. And, you know, her, Drizzy, and Lil Wayne weren't like making that much music together recently, whatever. But she got them on a song. So
Seeing Green, right?
Yeah, Seeing Green. So she has a mixtape and she added 3 new songs on it. And Drizzy hopped on live. And kind of how you were saying that like Drake has that feel of like still being like in touch. It was crazy the way he was like pumping love and light into her, because she was like, I went through a writer's block, which is crazy for me. And, you know, artists will relate that, you know, when the thing that you're so good at, like you're unable to do it in that moment, and that Drake sent her that sound and she instantly like got, you know, refreshed and whatever. And Drake hopped on the live and he was like, Nicki, I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad that this is all on the streaming platforms, but we're just getting started. And this isn't like you're the best out here. You're going to be the best out here. And you're getting back in the studio and you're making another album. You know, you and I talked about this privately, but you're not done. I'm not letting you be done.
I love that Drake never shies away from his past. No matter what it was, he's never like, oh, I'm bigger than Young Money. He literally like bows down to Lil Wayne. He's like, you are the king, you are the boss.
Yeah.
And
him and Nicki both.
Dude, he
They
brought.
just, like,
you remember
had
when
this-
he brought the Degrassi cast back on a music video?
yeah. And like just the fact that he makes references to his character all the time. Like it's really cool because it's one of those things where you can't make fun of the guy because he just like puts everything
It
out there.
seems like he's like a kid who got super lucky and is just like, hey, like I'm lucky. Like, you know how most people are like, I worked for this. Like,
Yeah.
I deserve this and I'm better than everyone else.
I'm lucky and talented. So
Yeah,
let me
he's
keep
like-
it. Yeah.
And he's like, let me share it or whatever. And who I worked with.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Also, I mean, he doesn't have like, for example, Lil Wayne. I think that his come up and all of that just affects him so much as far as like his perspective. Being 15 years old and being that famous and then having to deal with all this like, you know, gangster culture out of nowhere and be told that like this is the way to be and like treating Birdman as like his father and just kind of like that come up. Like, how do you
he
even
switched into that like so quickly and so well,
flawlessly?
I guess?
Basically, like he was meant for it.
Because
He
you've
was
heard
born
his
for it.
you've heard his like Degrassi mixtapes, right?
Oh, you're talking about Drake?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you were talking about Lil
Yeah.
Wayne.
Who's that?
they
Well, I'm exhausted, man. It's been we're an hour and a half in this podcast. Sorry.
No, Drake. I don't think he came into it flawlessly.
No,
Definitely
no.
not.
Wait.
I'll tell you why. On this
my
recent
God.
song, right, Seeing Green, it felt like I was back in middle school almost because Lil Wayne was actually rapping good. The autotune wasn't going that crazy. It felt like, you know, that moment where like the three of them, how they used to make songs all the time.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. You felt like you were listening to like the best of this collab.
And they said this thing too, and respect, because she was like, this is not a TikTok song, so don't base this off your TikTok standards. Like, I'm not a TikTok artist. And you know, you might take that as her taking shade, but really the song isn't a TikTok song. This isn't like a hype type song. Like, it's an enjoyable song. It's like an iconic moment type thing.
Well, I think it used to be. So like when we were little, we used to think that those songs that we were listening to were iconic. And I think when I listen back to them now, I'm just like, that was like Drake particularly was so corny.
Yeah, but for
we,
the time.
and we thought that like, because we didn't understand also a lot of
I
us
know you've
like what a
been
bar.
hurt by someone else. Like, but that was
But
so
we liked
good.
it.
We loved it
Because also our understanding of like poetry and lyricism and all that is so basic that like we hear like, you know, trying to ball, chemo, like all these like just bars that were just kind of like, okay, you say something and then you relate it to like Finding Nemo and this and that. It was just like, oh my God.
So you're right. So his transition wasn't that flawless, but there like that was such a rapid switch from how he used to rap on his mixtapes to when he got really famous, you know, worldwide.
No, but
And that
I think
might have been him struggling with that change, but then eventually he kind of found.
I think it might feel rapid, but it's been a long time if you think about it.
It has really been.
And there was a long time where people were like, this dude sucks, this guy's corny. There's still some of that around, but now he's at a much more respectable level.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say on this track. It feels like there's some roles that have switched where like Lil Wayne, it just feels like he's this icon who's on the track. It doesn't feel like he's this modern day rapper. It just feels like, oh, you got Lil Wayne. Like
Wayne don't care anymore.
this is
Well, he
And
literally
then-
said, all I do is rap. That's it. Like, I don't know what songs they're picking. I just rap every day and
he just
they
does.
just record it.
And then Drake feels like he has a little ad lib action where he's just like, you know what it is, like that thing he does. But then it's like he's like at this throne almost where he's just like, I'm successful, but these are still my people. And he said in that that little live session, he was like, yo, I'm bringing back the YMCMB sweatshirt. Then I was like, oh snap, like because that's something special that they had, you know, regardless of everything that happened.
There's something special they had, and that was honestly a special time, like in my like development too. Like just like when you're discovering music and you're like, whoa, these 3 people together are like insane and unstoppable and I enjoy them so much. And so him like making a reference to that time just like sparked a moment in me.
I'm glad that Drake lets Nicki Minaj know what it is, because I feel similarly where I just feel like sometimes she's doing too much or saying too much where she doesn't need to, because she's Nicki Minaj. And I've always like, as a female rapper, I actually put her, at the top because I think that she can really spit. And I love her ability to do so. I think her cadence and all of that is so fire. And so like sometimes it feels like, people are just, they don't need to do all that, and they should just, they get in their head too much. And that's what J. Cole was doing, where he's just like, I was in my head. And like when you just break it down and you just like live in the moment and forget all this stuff. Like he goes back, I think for the 2016 Forest Hill album, like he went back to his roots where he used to record in his friend Muhammad's house in New York. And he just wanted that feeling of being like, at the bottom and hustling. And then he would go to the studio for a specific time, because Pharrell told him that like, I only go to the studio for these times. And some people just stay in the studio all day. But like, with a lot of these artists like Nicki, I think that like even us being a lot younger, we get confused at like, should we go towards like more marketing side? Should we just make our art the way it is?
Yeah.
And it's probably so much more confusing for them all the way at the top.
I think it's weird for Nicki because, in the guys' realm, like, there's so much acceptance of new rappers regardless, right? But when Cardi B came into the scene, there was literally nobody else in the modern female rap world that they could really compare to. So instead of being like, okay, we have 2 great females here, there was so much put against them that she was so outspoken trying to defend her title and defend her. I really feel like that's the whole like feeling behind Queen too, where she was like defending her throne. And like, to a lot of people, it seemed like, okay, why is she talking so much? But in a way, she was like, I've been doing this. Y'all want to come over here and disrespect me now after all these years just because you see somebody new, when I've been writing, I've been doing all this stuff. And now I think that regardless of the fact that Sweetie and Megan and all these other people are coming out, I feel like she's more at peace with herself and more like, I'm going to put music out. I know my place and I don't need to tell people anymore.
That's what kills artists, when they start getting in their salt bag. When they just sound like they're salty. And what they're saying a lot of times is true, but it just like Wale, for example, Wale stays salty. And I love Wale so much. I think Wale is one of the most underrated rappers still. I don't care how mainstream some of his stuff gets. He is so just like incredible at piecing words and poetry together, that like if he just got out of his head when it comes to that stuff and just was Wale, man, he would be great, like as he is. But yeah.
Cute. That was the first Nicki session that was so accepted, and I love it.
I never slam Nicki for her artistry.
No, I know you
I think
don't.
Nicki is incredible.
I don't slam Nicki, but
okay.
I'm not getting as excited as you guys are over like Young Money and all that.
Okay. Bye.
Play me some Rhapsody and then we'll talk.
It was like a moment for our upbringing. It was always at the youth center. So it was lit.
I'm stuck in the 90s, man. I like took a time
such
machine.
a 90s
I took a time machine and never
music's
left.
not the same.
Well, you know all the old heads are coming back, right?
All the what?
They're making like there's a wave of all the old heads coming back.
Who's like who?
Like Jadakiss, Papoose.
Jadakiss makes songs here and there all the time.
Well, rest his soul,
but his album's coming out.
By the way, DMX, like all the stuff that he put out, he was putting stuff out here and there throughout. It still sounds amazing.
Yeah.
He made a song with Machine Gun Kelly. He had a bunch of songs with Swizz Beatz for this one movie that came out. And it's still like the raw energy and like the context. It's like, it's incredible still. Some people just last that long. Speaking of people who aren't lasting as long, Ellen is canceling her show. Ellen DeGeneres is...
Why? Because all the backlash?
So she says it's not because of that.
She signed a 3-year contract 3 years ago.
But they also
3 years extension.
But they also like lost a lot of money since that she made that apology show. And I mean, come on, like why?
I think that sometimes it's like one season too long. I think she went one. I would say she went 2 seasons too long.
Isn't her show kind of like an everlasting type of show? Like where she just invites you know, it's like an evergreen type of show. Like it just never gets old because you just keep inviting.
It is,
people.
but the issue is, I think we're realizing is hosting is not evergreen or whatever you're calling it. Like you get tired of.
Oh, so she's just tired of hosting?
No, I'm saying we're tired.
Well, that and all the stuff that everyone had to be like put up with her, you know, and all the stuff that came to light. Just last year?
I still don't know what she did. Like I know that there's a lot of stuff on it. I listened to it.
Her show had a toxic workplace.
Yeah.
A lot of people reported that, you know, they were being mistreated, and basically that like some people speculate that Ellen's behind the whole thing because she puts up this front, but then behind the scenes is like super mean and bossy and tells like her assistants and all that.
I didn't hear anything directly like Ellen did this to me.
Well, a lot of the guests actually reported that. Like when the cameras weren't rolling.
Yeah, that's what I know is that like, so I was on TikTok yesterday and there's this thing about Mariah Carey, and this made my heart hurt so bad, probably because of the early childhood aspect of me. But it was like this clip where when Mariah Carey first got married to Nick Cannon, they were like 6 months into their marriage, and she like suffered miscarriages and stuff a few times. And so it's recommended by doctors that until you hit 12 weeks, you're not supposed to report that like you are in fact pregnant, right? Because you can lose the baby. And so there was like a rumor going around that Mariah Carey was pregnant. And so Ellen was like, so if you're not pregnant, just take a sip of the champagne. And she was like, oh no,
Yikes.
like she was like, oh yeah, like I'm not pregnant. Like I just like, it's literally 2 p.m. Like why would I drink? And then she was like, no, confirm to the world that you're not pregnant. And so then she had to pretend.
Fucked.
It was so sad because then she actually ended up with a miscarriage that time. And she didn't get pregnant for like a little while after that. So, I mean, that's just like a random thing that there's like, she did that a lot with like the Kardashians too, because she had an insight with so many celebrities. I saw it with the celebrities specifically more than I did with like, I heard direct things with the
people helping behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really like all know exactly. And also it could have been like bad timing, all types of things.
Yeah.
But I just think Ellen is one of those cases where it's just like, is it in Batman that they say like you live long enough to see yourself become the villain?
Yeah, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself.
I think you could apply that to like Eminem. You could apply it to Ellen. A lot of these people who just like, it seems like, yeah, let's.
But if we go back to the J. Cole, I think it's always saying you can always come back.
You can, but like
probably in a different realm. I feel like she should come back in a different world, not in a talk show host setting. Like, if you want to do comedy again, go back and do like comedy shows and like, you know, yeah, I know. But she only did 4 cities and 3 of which were in California. I used and 1 was Seattle on the West Coast.
I used to be obsessed with Ellen when I was like in high school. Like I had Ellen stuff.
And
like
in your 20s, because when we first met you, you were like wearing the Ellen boxers and the shirt and whatever. You used to say you love Ellen.
Yeah, because I really love what she stood for, or what I thought that she stood for. And maybe she still does. I don't think that like that component is gone. Why would somebody just like live this way for so long? I think that she's just been like famous for a long time, and who knows? She's like, is she in her 60s? How old is she? Can you see how?
I think she's like.
Can you see how old she is?
Late in her 60s, I feel. I don't know.
But like, yeah, I mean, she would say, you know, be kind to one another after every show, and I love that. And what?
Oh,
dude, why are you being toxic?
I'm not being toxic. It's just like, so she's 63 years old.
She would say these things, and it still had an effect on a lot of people. And like, I used to watch the show with like my family. My mom would watch it. We all because like the things that would happen in the show where she's helping people, and then it's fun and there's dancing and different things like that. Like it was a perfect sort of show for like just positivity. And that was like missing in a lot of people's lives, or like it just made you feel good seeing everyday people kind of like get, you know, things that they deserve. And she was one of those people.
Yeah.
But then like, yeah, like the more you keep watching it, and like her sort of corniness and like just being tired of the show.
Exposure sometimes just makes you not that desirable.
And your target.
No, I feel like the more you reveal about yourself, like to the, you know, like there's some like celebrities that will like, post everything or whatever. Even like Lily to an extent, because she had her real
Who's
channel
Lily?
and then Lily Singh, like Superwoman. She had like her main channel and then she had the vlog channel, and then between those two and then her social media and then the show, people just started like hating her because of like overexposure. Like you're doing too much to an extent, you know? But I feel like when there's like, you know, some breaks, like how I like that sometimes celebrities take hiatuses. And I think it was really cool. You shared something from Beyonce the other day, that she was like, you know, why are we worried about what whoever's daughter is wearing? And like, why are we worried about these little things? And I used to wonder, why is Beyonce so disconnected from social media? Why doesn't she post anything? Like her fans are dying for her. Like, why are you not like so for your beehive? And then I was like, she doesn't have to be. She is an artist and all she has to do is put it out there. And that's all that she needs to do. That's all she owes us.
Yeah, she's talking about how like we're basically machines who just like turn out content instead of like how basically what we were talking about with J. Cole. I think also it puts you at a disadvantage when your brand is positivity, right? Where like it can only, you can only ever slip up from there, right? If you get caught, it's over for you. Whereas if you're somebody who is just, you know, has a reckless sort of demeanor and you're usually mean, but then you do something that's even a little bit nice. I talked about this, like a little theory that I had on the show before, but like how Simon Cowell, Gordon Ramsay, other people who kind of like, you know, are perceived to be like really mean and strict, when they do something nice, it's just like the world has flipped and people are like, oh my God, Simon Cowell's a sweetheart. And like Gordon Ramsay, oh my God, he cares so much about kids. Like he's so special. So with Ellen, you know, she got all this praise for being always this positive person. She got the Freedom Medal, right? From Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it puts you at this super high of like, this person is perfect.
It's funny because Lily's message was also positivity and kindness. And I felt that same way about her, that people kind of like took that to another level as well.
And for a long time, people have been making videos of how before like it was popular to hate on Lily or Ellen, they were picking out little things where they're like, oh, she right here shows signs of actually being like, you know, really mean.
I was one of those people with Ellen. She totally like disrespected Psy, like Gangnam Style.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
Dang.
Like he jumped on because you know when the guest comes on, like, hey, how's it going? You know, nice to have you on the show. She immediately went, so show us a stance. And Psy's like, first, can I introduce myself? Hi, my name is Psy. I'm from Korea. And like, we love you. He's like, oh, really?
I think that she's just like, she's one of those white people that are just culturally insensitive and they don't know.
Which
like,
is weird because she's been in the game for so long that at this point you're like, okay.
But if you look at it, like there's a lot of hosts that are that way.
Yeah.
Like especially back in the day.
Even like in a way, he's so like sweet and like not confident, so it works for him. But like Jimmy Kimmel, right? Is that him?
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, maybe. Yeah, the one who's just like so uncomfortable and whatever. Like he's not a great host.
He loves and laughs at everything the guest says and is in love with the guest. It's annoying.
But like kind of like culturally unaware in some ways.
Yeah, even like Steve Harvey, who's a straight up dude. Even he's had his moments where it's just like, oh.
He just seems like
with that one.
out of touch a little bit. That's why I like Conan the best. I think Conan, it just keeps it real.
Conan's just always so cringe. That's what's so great about it.
No, he's not cringe at all.
Like in a funny way.
He makes fun of himself. He's super self-deprecating.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I'm referring to.
He just makes fun of himself all the time. And like, he doesn't, like Jimmy Fallon, he's like, oh my God, the best album ever. Oh my God, tell us oh, that's hilarious. Literally the best music ever. It's like, all right, dude, you don't think everything is the best ever. Let's not do that. And I get it that it makes the guest feel special or whatever, but Conan, he'll literally be like, why are you doing this? Like, what does this mean? Like question. He's like, okay, cool. Like he's not like, oh, this is great, whatever. He like congratulates the person or whatever, but like he roasts them. He does stuff like that. I just think, yeah, Ellen, I don't want to take away from all the things that she has done and the ways that she's made people feel, because I was one of those people. And I think that like, especially at a time where like, you know, I'm coming up and I, you know, think I'm too cool and whatever else. And, you know, I want to be this bad kid. Just having this little bit of my day that was like, be kind to one another. Maybe it changed me forever and made me realize that like, you know, that's much more special. Like giving is much more special than anything that you can like earn or receive. that feeling of making somebody else's day is what she used to do all the time at her show. And I know that like right now, everybody's going to be talking about her ending her show and saying, good, good, good. And she sucks as a human being. But yeah, I think that like in those moments where everybody is already being kicked while they're down, I think it's important to recognize that like, yo, nobody did what she did. Like she was incredible at what she did. And yeah,
she faced a lot of adversity in her beginning of life. Her just coming out as gay because remember, she's 63. Like at the time that she did, she lost everything when she came out. When she was,
didn't she lose her like show and everything?
She lost everything, and it took a while to get her back and people appreciating her and the momentum for it, whatever. So she also did face like adversity herself.
It's basic rules of like empathy, right? Where people, you know, where she's gone through things and then she doesn't want other people to go through those things, and she wants to make people feel special, and other people, you know, will see her situation and all that she's become and have that sort of relatability. So it's weird how like, you know, people are perceived differently over time, but we're all human beings. And like, I look at celebrities and I'm just like, it must be crazy the things that they have to go to and what we don't hear and know about their lives.
Yeah.
So yeah. Last thing I wanted to hit real quick. I don't want to talk about this a lot. I know that people are kind of like, really hurt by this thing, and there's important work to be done out there. I want our show to be a place where you can come, feel like you're in a conversation with the homies and have a good time. And we don't talk about stuff like this a lot, but right now there's a genocide going on in the world. There's an ethnic cleansing going on with the Palestinian people. And I just wanted to kind of like highlight that, you know, anybody who feels like they're in this fight for good, keep fighting. Because a lot of people, you know, when we were in history class, when we were little kids, remember we'd like hear about Jewish people in the Holocaust, we'd hear about Native Americans and all types of other sort of moments in history where we're just like, oh, why didn't people just like tell them to stop?
Yeah.
Like that's literally my thinking.
That could never happen today.
That would never happen today. And like, and obviously with racism and segregation in the US, all this kind of stuff, we're just like, man, those people are so dumb. Like, how could it happen? Whatever else, right? And right now, I think there's a lot of people that are conflicted because we're being fed that, like, you know, Israel, we're supposed to support. Our president says so. Every, you know, political figure basically says that one of the main things that we as Americans believe is supporting Israel no matter what, because they're our allies and America is always right. And I think if anything we've learned after all of what happened in 2020 is that we've been, if you didn't know before, just fed the wrong information for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't just openly trust people who are supposed to be leading us, because they don't always have, and a lot of times they don't have, our best interest at heart. I'll give you guys an example. Our governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, right? He, for the most part, seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he's done a lot.
He's done a lot for Maryland, and people like him, Democrats and Republicans. He's a Republican, but like
but Democrats like him.
Democrats like him, and amongst the Republicans, you know, what Democrats always often say is that, you know, he seems to be more level-headed. He didn't support Trump in a lot of what he did, and you know, for that reason, people were like, you know what, he's like a sane guy. I don't mind that, you know, he is running our state.
And if you don't know, like if you're not from Maryland, you don't know, like Maryland is a Democratic state. So we have him as a Republican governor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope.
But it's weird because the Muslim community in Maryland, they always, with the governor and different elected officials, they always have had these groups where they invite these people to dinners and iftars and make them involved and hear from the Muslim communities and all that they do. And Larry Hogan was one of those people. My dad helped organize so many events that like he was invited to. I did poetry at one of those events, and I brought other artists there to perform and show their art and basically like support and let them know that, you know, the Muslim community is here. We are Marylanders, we're Americans, and we care about the state and the betterment of the state. We want to be unified, and we want to do whatever we can to, you know, basically be great citizens of this state and of this country. And that's what we do. And we make you know, efforts to put all our faiths together and you know, be in basically in unity, right? And so Larry Hogan has been a part of these events, and then like, you know, recently he posts this thing on Facebook that just totally slaps us in the back, which is just like, he says that I, you know, support Israel and I, you know, don't support what Hamas is doing and killing innocent people, right?
He pulled an Obama at the White House iftar.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because Obama, it seemed like
Did
he
the
was
same thing.
He launched more drone attacks on innocent civilians than anybody. So yeah, like what I've really like learned about this is like politicians are gonna do politics, right? Like they earn our vote. They see us as voters.
Yeah, even Andrew Yang
got completely just
wrecked in person. So Andrew Yang came out. He was like, "I support Israel." Similar thing. And he was like, "I'm for the people of New York," like something like that.
He's running for mayor. And yeah, he was openly supporting Israel. Not acknowledge. The thing is, like, okay, you can.
I love how Bernie's Jewish and I'm sorry.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
he's been on that for a long time.
Like, he's not like, oh yeah, I'm Jewish, so like, you know, got to stick up for my Israelis. He's like, yo, there's something wrong happening. I'm gonna call it what it is, wrong.
And he's not a trendy politician where like a lot of people will flip their agenda to better serve the people that they're trying to get the vote from.
He'll say
Bernie's
the unpopular
been
opinion.
fighting for you know, racial equality and all these things before.
For years.
He marched with MLK.
That's crazy. Yeah,
and
decades.
And that's why we don't deserve him, because we are horrible people who just follow whatever somebody's feeding to us.
He is a prime example of somebody who was just too ahead of his time.
Right.
Like, we would appreciate the heck out of him in 15 to 20 years. But he's just like too old now. No, I'm just kidding.
But the people that, you know, have worked with him, at least we'll get to see them play out.
Yeah.
AOC,
Yeah.
Ilhan Omar, these people who all, Rashida Tlaib, will have come from a lot of his sort of backing. What?
Rashida Tlaib, she's the...
It seemed like you had a
She's part of the squad.
It's not too relevant, but I'm not a fan of her and how she operates.
Okay, I have to look deeper into that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it after the podcast.
Yeah.
Sure. But Andrew Yang, like he was supposed to go to an event to try to...
Wasn't it iftar?
I think it was just some sort of community event that like he was supposed to work with some of the Bengali people of that community in New York. And then they asked him not to come anymore after he made those remarks, which was awesome on their part. But then he was like questioned about it. And then
he was walking the streets, I believe.
Yeah.
And then 3 or 4 people approached him and like were saying like, how could you tweet something like this? Like, do you not know the people of New York? There's a lot of people in these communities that are support, you know.
And then one of his campaign people like told him to back up and like not ask those questions, which is a horrible look for Andrew Yang, because if he wants to be you know, this guy who's for the people, and he seemed like a great candidate when he was first running. But yeah, like, bro, you want to be all about math, but then like you want to skip out on history lessons. You want to skip out on reading.
Math, but the calculations ain't adding up.
It doesn't add up, son. Yeah. Like and this is what people need to realize. I don't care if you're a minority. This is what people need to understand. Like, who cares? Kamala Harris is half Indian, half black. I've been saying it for so long. Like, why are we celebrating this if they are still killing people? If they are still with this, if they're still against basic human rights and existence? Andrea, I don't care if you're Asian. Like, you're making Asians look bad.
Hey,
like,
the whole
representation matters, but also what are you doing with your representation matters more.
Yeah.
I just want to say Paperboy the Prince for mayor, New York.
Paperboy from Atlanta?
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Paperboy the Prince. He's one of the candidates for New York mayor.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Why does he have a rapper name?
He's the dude because he's a rapper. No, he's from DC. Like, I've seen him perform a couple of times. He's a very
Does he have a shot?
flamboyant, energetic. The polls say no, but he's like one of those guys where you want him to be mayor for like just funny reasons, but legit he has like art
we
for the
already
people.
have seen what happens
You know.
when we elect people for funny reasons.
Well, no, but he's actually legit wants just peace and love for everybody. You know, real down to earth, like good hearted dude.
I'm
but
voting for The Rock.
I'm still wondering if he's being serious or not. But I mean,
I want The Rock to be president.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, let's do
I'm
it.
sorry, there was a bigger picture here.
No, but like all of this is important because it tells us like where we are, where we need to go. There's people that like were fighting for the Black Lives Matter movement, but then don't know how they feel about ethnic cleansing. Like it's such a weird sort of thing.
They
like
only fight about this stuff when they get told to by the media.
Right.
And
I
when
mean,
it's trending.
also, okay, let's also put it into perspective that it's also like a shaming thing. Like if you're not doing something, then you're shamed for not doing it. So like the comparisons are like a little bit annoying because they're like, oh, if you spoke up for this and you don't, then you're XYZ. It's not about that. It's a fact that you shouldn't be shamed into doing it. You should be wanting to, speak up about something because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about that, I'm not saying, you should be shamed into thinking this or that. I'm saying like I'm followed on my social media by a lot of, very argumentative people that are loud about, Black Lives Matter, this and that, et cetera, et cetera. But when I post a video about Eric Garner 3 months before Black Lives Matter even touches it, the same people who are talking about the previous thing that Black Lives Matter touched didn't touch this video at all. No likes, no replies.
Well,
then
yeah,
once
like
they're told
that's
to,
the whole, yeah,
That's
because now it's people are talking about it and it's for show and like I need to participate in some way.
Everything is a trend.
What bothers me the most is when I can't do anything about it or I feel like I'm helpless, even if like, okay, yeah, post about it, sign these protests, whatever. I truly like when this is happening, like we had a performance and all of that. Like I feel guilty. I feel horrible because it's like, yeah, we can post about it, but like people are going through what they're going through and there's nothing that I can do about it besides just support it in whatever way. I just feel too small and I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling.
It sucks because you want to be putting yourself accountable to like post about it and whatever. But also we have to be able to remember that we cannot fully give ourselves mentally to these things because they do take a toll on you. And
Absolutely.
we all saw that happen last year with Black Lives Matters. There was a huge like exhaust in the world because everybody was so emotionally burnt out. And sure, you should get emotionally invested 100%. But I'm over here feeling guilty for posting like funny stories, whatever. And I was like, wait, I need to like, I have to follow it up, but like it's the right thing to do. But let's focus on the fact that like, let's not have this thing be if you're not talking about it all the time at every moment and emotionally and completely exhausting yourself, then you're wrong. But let's also not ignore it to the point where it's not causing an effect on us at all.
Right.
We need to play that middle ground somewhere because this whole trendiness of supporting these movements is either on one tail end or the other, and there's no balance in it at all.
What I've learned from last year especially was like, I don't want to post just to post. I want to do the most I can off screen. And whatever way it is, donating it to a charity or just learning, I want to do way more than that than I am posting or even looking at people's posts about it. Like I learn way more from off screen than people's stories. I'm sorry. Like I don't think the stories do an amazing job, but I think there is a need for them. Obviously, like awareness.
Sake.
I think
especially the
awareness
basic ones that at least get the message out to people who just don't even understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Those are great. Those are helpful.
Yeah.
And I think it did bring a great awareness in this situation. I just think like everybody also not only needs to bring awareness, but like, do what you can
Actions
outside,
as well.
like action. I think action's super important.
What I've
Don't
also
just put a colored picture and nothing else on your Instagram profile.
what I've also
exactly.
realized is that like the best way to basically this is going to be unfortunately something that's going to continue to happen in our lifetimes where there's people that are being oppressed and people that are just being done dirty. And we're going to see this again and again. And if we stopped our tracks every single time while the people who are oppressing continue to move forward, then we're going to move ourselves back a step every single time we do that. So in order for us to be helpful, we have to continue to use our privilege to our absolute advantage and like continue to find success and be in positions of power and encourage people who are trying to be in those positions to continue doing the good work. Because if we are just like, I know that there's great people out there that are protesting in the streets and stuff, but I know some people personally that's all that they do. And then they are struggling at their work or finding a job, and they're not like able to even help themselves. And that's not that's not really
healthy.
able to. That's not healthy, but also it's not actually making much progress because at the end of the day,
healthier you are and the more grip that you have on your emotions, the better you can deliver your message, in my opinion.
At the end of the day, the politicians are going to try to win your vote. If they want to win your vote, they have to listen to the things that you believe in. If you can be in a position where you can influence enough people to share your values and your beliefs, the whole system will change for that reason. We just have to continue to get to those positions, and it's going to be difficult. I know it takes money. Of course it takes money. But how do you
give a fuck about what we believe in? Come on,
Hassan,
No.
There's a certain set of things that like we have to be able to believe in, you know, this thing will lead to this thing, this will lead to that. If we only have the mindset of, okay, money's going to be the only thing that like we're never going to be able to achieve it. We can get past that as long as we believe we can get past of it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you are somebody who is like, I can make a lot of money if I'm not focused on these things. Do you? No judgment. Go get that money and you know, like, be a billionaire, whatever you want to do. But if you're going to have some sort of like influence after that and you're able to make some sort of difference, I just think that like the world works in a way where really great people like often aren't in those positions for a reason. And it's because we're focused on like many other things and we have a lot of like empathy and stuff. And it takes a lot of selfishness to be at certain positions. It just does. And so, and also it takes a lot of great relationships and like not caring about politics and choosing a side in these things. But all I know is that like when my time is done here, I don't want to be known as somebody who didn't care. Like I, you know, I'm going to put this on a t-shirt, but it's going to say blame the bystanders. And if there's something that's clearly out there that like I don't rock with, I don't believe in, it's hurting my heart, I'm never going to keep that inside because it's going to prevent me from being successful or that it's going to come in the way of my money. That's just who I am. And, you know, I believe in an afterlife where, you know, your good deeds and your bad deeds are put right in front of you. And yeah, I think that like these people will eventually have to pay. They sacrifice themselves for this life. And we hear that all the time. Like, it is what it is. What I want to say to the people that are fighting, that feel like they are not heard and all of that, it is not in anybody's best interest to support you that's in any sort of power for what you believe in. There's a reason that colonizers are colonizers. And if they were to, you know, pick apart what somebody else was doing, they would have to reevaluate what they did. Meaning countries like the United States or the UK or Australia, you know, because they have done colonization, for them to criticize Israel would be hypocritical. And so they're not going to do that. So don't expect it. Don't expect politicians, people who are supposed to lead you in any way, say something. But also don't feel like you are not heard, that the things that you care about, that you're seeing after doing enough research, that makes sense to you, that they're not valid. Because if people are losing lives anywhere, it's wrong. And yeah, like don't give up the good fight. Free Palestine! Palestine forever. Forever, ever. Thank you everybody for listening to another long episode of Strange Flavors. We love you guys. It's been another week.
Another flavor.
A little less stranger.
We'll talk to you next time.
You don't mean nothing to me. Eat boys like you every dinner. I don't believe what you preach. You're just a rookie beginner. Hang out with boys.